Chapter 2281 The Appearance of Infinite Ancestral Fu. Open black lens bracket seeking complete order close black lens bracket. The entrance of the Xiaoguang slit that cut off the forbidden area has disappeared, but the Xiaoguang slit naturally did not disappear, it still exists, so Yi Tian's duplicate body is also in the Xiaoguang slit. But Yi Tian is very clear that this copy of his body cannot survive forever in the gap of the glow. There will inevitably be dangers here in the future. If there is no danger, those creatures that cut off the restricted area will not leave here. However, his purpose is to use this ray of sunshine to enhance his boundless will before danger comes. Soon, his duplicate body absorbed a ray of sunshine, which was absorbed by the infinite will. In an instant, his boundless will began to increase rapidly. What a horrible effect! Yi Tian was extremely surprised. Although he expected that this kind of ray of light could enhance the infinite will, he did not expect the effect to be so good. His boundless will has reached the 53 mark now, but he feels that he only needs to completely absorb this ray of sunshine, and the boundless will can reach the 54 mark. You must know that in the outside world, it will take a long time and a lot of resources for him to increase the boundless will by a notch, but here he only needs to absorb a ray of sunshine. Xiaoguang Gap, what exactly is this place? It's too mysterious. Yi Tian still held back his curiosity and did not explore, but looked for the glow to absorb it. His most important goal at the moment is to improve the boundless will, and other things are not important. There is still a lot of glow in the glow gap, and a wisp of glow will appear every once in a while, but as long as it can't be absorbed in time, the glow will disappear. And Yi Tian's reaction was very fast, but refining the glow took time, so he couldn't absorb and refine every ray of glow. As time passed, Yi Tian's boundless will became stronger and stronger. 60 scales, 70 scales. This kind of improvement is too fast, and due to the insane increase of boundless will, Yi Tian's boundless Dao domain is also getting stronger and stronger, and his strength is naturally getting stronger and stronger. This kind of opportunity to quickly improve the infinite will is too rare, so Yi Tian can stay here all the time, plus this kind of glow is too suitable to improve the infinite will. Long years have passed. This day Yi Tian found that his boundless will has been raised to the level of 80 scale, and his strength has skyrocketed a lot. My current strength should not have been raised to the second step of the original ninefold ancestor. Yi Tian estimated. This possibility still exists, but it may still be worse. After all, he has made little progress in other areas. Although the improvement of infinite will can improve his strength, it will not be too exaggerated. So, he went to the 4th floor of Shishuidian Tower, and it was still a little short. In the following years, Yi Tian will focus on improving the boundless will. After all, it is still too difficult to improve other aspects. In the blink of an eye, hundreds of billions of years of the original era have passed. Even if the help of Xiaoguang to him is getting weaker and weaker, but absorbing the massive amount of Xiaoguang can still temper the boundless will and make the boundless will gradually improve. Now, his boundless will has been raised to 99 scales, and he is only one scale away from being raised to 100 scales. According to Yi Tian's understanding, the immeasurable will at the level of 100 scales has almost reached the lowest level of the immeasurable will of the Xeon 9th layer primitive ancestor. Because according to the information he inquired about, some of the weaker Xeon 9th layer primitives, their immeasurable will is around 100 scales. After boundless will reaches 100 scales, his boundless Dao territory is already extremely terrifying, and it can directly suppress some of the ninefold primordial ancestor. And his strength has also reached the second step of the original ancestor of the 9 layers, and such strength has already ranked among the top 50 ranks of the 9 layers building. It will be more difficult to make further progress once his strength reaches this level. Unless he has a breakthrough in the life level or a breakthrough in the limitless path, he will not be able to quickly improve his strength. Therefore, he made every effort to use the resources from the truncated source C and the resources collected from the truncated restricted area to improve his life level and cultivation, and to improve his strength as quickly as possible. However, this cannot be done in a short time. This day, when Yi Tian's duplicate body absorbed the refining glow in the glow gap, he suddenly felt the glow gap vibrate. At this moment, he felt the existence of crisis. Unexpected. A dark creature appeared in the dark area outside the glow gap, and the appearance of this creature directly caused the entire glow gap to crumble. Not good, this creature is definitely comparable to the enhanced item level. Yi Tian secretly said. In the face of such existence, he didn't even have the ability to resist. The fact is also true, he was instantly killed by one move. Perhaps the creature was just passing by, but it was so slaughter that it died when it saw it. And before this replica body fell, it also sensed the talent of this creature. But after spying, Yi Tian was shocked. From this creature, he actually sensed a kind of ancestral fu that surpassed the ancestral fu of Yuan Dao, the immeasurable ancestral fu. Infinite ancestral fu, darkness. He originally wanted to copy this infinite ancestral fu, but found that he couldn't replicate it at all, and the level of the copying talent was still slightly weaker than that of the infinite ancestral fu, so there was no way to copy the infinite ancestral fu. But at this moment Yi Tian is not only not lost, but is very excited, which means that the copy talent still has potential to be tapped and can be upgraded. If he upgrades his copying talent to the level of infinite ancestral fu, wouldn't he be able to copy the opponent's infinite ancestral fu? Judging from the situation of copying talent, the creature's name is Black Roar, and where did the Black Roar of the enhanced item come from? Yi Tian was very curious. There are only so many of the Silent Black Sea, the Truncated Forbidden Zone, the Primordial Ancient Seas to Enhanced Object Level, or the original Xeon Ninefold Ancestor, and as a result for good, a Black Roar to the Enhanced Object Level casually appeared here. There are too many secrets to cut off the restricted area. I am afraid that even the 9-story building may not necessarily know where the Black Roar comes from. Yi Tian thought about dragons. This duplicate body has been killed, and the entrance to the Xiaoguang Gap has disappeared, so he can no longer enter the Xiaoguang Gap now. It's a pity for such a treasure. Yi Tian muttered. Although after a long time, the entrance of the Xiaoguang Gap will still appear in the restricted area, but it will be a long time later. At that time, he may already be the original ancestor of the Xeon 9th layer, and he does not need the treasure of Xiaoguang Gap. Another time passed. This day, Yi Tian's life level finally broke through again after consuming countless resources of the Origin Sea, reaching the level of 105 life levels. At the same time, his strength also skyrocketed again. Chapter 2282 Confluence Period. Open black lens bracket seeking full order close black lens bracket. Yi Tian went to Shishuidianlu to test his combat power, and now he can easily pass through the 4th floor. This means that his strength is not weak in the second step of the ninefold primitive ancestor, at least it belongs to the middle ranks. This is the benefit of his current life level being raised to 105 and his cultivation base being improved. However, after the life level is raised to 105, it is even more difficult to raise it to 106. According to his understanding, the life level limit of the general ninefold primordial ancestor is 100. Although the ninefold primordial ancestor like him can break the limit of the life level is 108. After the life level reaches 108, if you want to continue to improve, you must step into the limit, achievement of the original ancestor of the Xeon Ninefold. That is to say, if the ancestor of the 9 layers wants to become the ancestor of the 9 layers of the Xeon, he must break the 108 limit of his life level. If the life level does not reach 108, then it is not qualified to attack the original ancestor of the Xeon 9th layer. In the Silent Black Sea, there are too few ninefold ancestors with a life level of 108, so even if these ninefold ancestors obtained treasures such as the Eternal Flint, they would not be able to help them reach the Supreme Ninefold Ancestor. Of course, if life level 203 reaches 108, even if other aspects are relatively weak, and the combat power is only ranked in the second sequence of the 9th level ancestor, it is still qualified to attack the strongest 9th level ancestor. It's just that even if such a ninefold ancestor succeeds in breaking through, it is considered to be a relatively weak one among the supreme ninefold ancestors. Which kind of Xeon 9th level ancestor is extremely powerful? That is, the limitless Tao has been cultivated to the extreme realm, the limitless will is far more than 100, the flesh body is extremely powerful, and it has the incomparably terrifying unparalleled limitless control skills. This kind of Xeon 9th ancestor is really powerful, far exceeding the ordinary Xeon 9th ancestor. The years that followed were very peaceful. Yi Tian practiced quietly, although the speed of progress was slow, but at least it was still progressing. He now only hopes that he will comprehend the infinite Tao to the Dacheng realm as soon as possible, and then master the boundless Tao control skills of the small perfection level, so that his strength will skyrocket greatly, and he is expected to rank in the ranks of the 9th level ancestors of the first step. The original ancient sea. This day, 9 Wing tribe, Taiwu tribe, Guhuang tribe, Mingsheng tribe and other 10 top big tribes gathered here. They represent the 10 most powerful tribes in the entire Yuan CJFJ early ancient sea. Every tribe has at least a few to strengthen the material level, and the difference in strength is not too big. Now, their 10 tribes have gathered here to discuss a big thing. At this time, Wu Wu, a superpower of the Taiwu tribe, said, the meeting period is coming soon. This is a big opportunity, and it is also our silver lining. Do you have any plans? The confluence period is very important, but the area of each confluence period is different, and I don't know what the chance is. If there is no big chance, I don't think it is necessary to start a war. Yes, if there is a big chance, then no matter how big the price is, we have to snatch it. But now we have an enemy. One more enemy. Could it be the guys who cut off the restricted area? It's the guys who cut off the restricted area. Thanks to the Nine Wings tribe, they brought us a group of enemies. At this time, Junny, the strongest powerhouse of the Nine Wings tribe, said coldly, "What do you mean? Even if we don't cooperate with the restricted area, other tribes will cooperate with them, which is inevitable. I also hope that there will be a conflict between the 5 top forces in the truncated restricted area and the silent Black Sea, who knows that they have not fought. Okay, this matter is over, it doesn't make sense to say more. Besides, even if there are more truncations in the restricted area, we are not afraid." In short, when the confluence period comes, the tribes of our original ancient sea must unite to gain an advantage. Everyone wants to go further. If the original ancestor of the 9-layered supreme power of the silent Black Sea can benefit and take that step first, then it's our end. Afterwards, these to strengthen the material level to prepare for the intersection period, one by one to discuss the following plans. At the same time, the 9-layered building, the Shadowshan, the Magic Sea, the Strange World, and the original ancestors of the 9-layered God Blood sect have all gathered together, and they are also discussing things in the meeting period. This involves the silent Black Sea and the primordial ancient sea, and it is also an important matter related to their future. Even if any Xeon 9th primordial ancestor has retreated for endless years, he will exit at this time. Just like those tribes in the original ancient sea, these 5 forces are also joining forces. No matter what contradictions there were in the past, they must join forces at this time, otherwise they will not be able to compete with those tribes. What's more, they have to be threatened by the truncation penalty area, so they have to mark the truncation penalty area. Convergence period. Yi Tian got this news from Dongchen Daozu and was immediately shocked. At this time, not only him, but all the 9 ancestors of the entire 9-layer building got the news. However, most of the original ancestors of the 9 layers have experienced the confluence period, so they understand what the confluence period is. Only Yi Tian has become the ancestor of the 9 layers for too short a time, so he has not experienced the confluence period. Master Dongchen Daozu, the confluence period refers to the convergence of the original ancient sea and the silent Black Sea. Could it be because of this that a war will break out? Yi Tian asked. Daozu Dongchen shook his head. Naturally, it's not just that. If it is just a part of the territory, it is completely possible to negotiate, and war may not break out, but this time it is not only the silent Black Sea and the original ancient sea, but also an unfamiliar territory. Strictly speaking, it was the unfamiliar territory that collided with the original ancient sea and the silent Black Sea, thus prompting the two sides to meet. This meeting period will not be too long, but it is not short. At present, the meeting period has been born 13 times, each time there will be a new Xeon 9th layer original ancestor, and there will even be opportunities for us to greatly increase our strength. Whether it is us or the original antiquities, we firmly believe that there will be opportunities for us to take this step during the confluence period, so everyone. Impossible to give up. Take this step. Could it be above the original ancestor of the Xeon 9th layer? Yi Tian asked in surprise. Dongchen Daozu nodded. Yes, this is the step. Although this step is very difficult, everyone thinks that there is a possibility of breakthrough. At present, there is already a Xeon 9th layer ancestor who has taken half a step above the silent Black Sea, and his strength is far beyond. Ordinary Xeon 9th level ancestors even have the ability to kill weaker Xeon 9th level ancestors. In addition, this is also the hope of U9 ancestors. No one knows what the chance will be, so if it is possible, I also recommend you to try it when the time comes. Listening to Dongchen Daozu's words, Yi Tian nodded slightly, and he began to look forward to the meeting period in his heart. Chapter 2283 Arrival. Open black lens bracket full order close black lens bracket. As time passed, the convergence period spread, and even some Ye ancestors knew about the confluence period. However, the chance of the confluence period is destined to have nothing to do with these Ye ancestors, and even if they have backgrounds, they will not be able to participate. Cut off the restricted area. Sol Lao, Chimu and others to the enhanced material level naturally know about the intersection period, although they have never participated in the opportunity of the intersection period. But this time, they naturally want to get involved. And Yi Tian's soul-splitting red beast's copy body, Tianhe, was also informed that he would be taken by the old soul to participate in this opportunity. That is to say, this time Yi Tian's 2 duplicate bodies will participate in the confluence period. Anyone who replicates the body has a harvest, then it will make a lot of money. Since each meeting period is different, there is naturally no redundant information. But at this time, Yi Tian has a question, that is there a similarity between the territory created by the confluence period and the glow gap? For example, the territory created by the confluence period is an enlarged version of the glow gap. If this is the case, it is indeed unimaginable chance. This day, Yi Tian came to ask the old soul. Old soul, the silent black sea meets the ancient sea. Is that the treasure land of the intersection that suddenly appeared similar to the gap between the rays of light? Yi Tian asked. Hun Lao guessed. It is possible, but I have not participated in the confluence period, so I can't be sure. But from the law of confluence period, this possibility is very high. Strictly speaking, the Xiaoguang gap is also a confluence period, but it is only there is a fixed meeting period, while the meeting period between the silent Black Sea and the original ancient sea is not fixed, and the territory that appears each time is different. The competition during the confluence period is probably very fierce. Yi Tian said lightly. Hun Lao reminded. In short, I will take you there, but I can't go in the first time. I have to understand the situation before I allow you to go in. In addition, we are competing for opportunities at this level, you don't want to go there, so as not to be affected. Now. Yi Tian replied. Time passed slowly, and in the blink of an eye, hundreds of billions of years passed by. This day, the entire silent Black Sea and the original ancient sea seemed to have a special kind of fluctuation. Ordinary Taoist ancestors could not perceive this fluctuation change at all, but the ninefold ancestor naturally sensed it very clearly. The meeting time is coming. Yi Tian muttered. At the same time, one by one the most powerful ninefold ancestors left the customs, and a large number of ninefold ancestors also appeared one by one. Cut off the restricted area. Sol Lao, Akaji, and many others to the enhanced material level also came out from here, and even the powerful jellyfish of the enhanced material level also appeared. Although the jellyfish is sometimes mad and tyrannical, she is very normal at this moment. Naturally, she has to participate in such competition. Maybe she can find a treasure that suppresses her temperament, which can solve the problem. Another moment passed. The space-time barrier between the silent Black Sea and the original ancient sea suddenly collapsed somewhere, and then a shadowy area descended, forcing a small part of the 2 territories to merge together. At the boundary of Jin district, one by one, the original ancestors of the 9 strong ones went to the Jin region boundary. At this time, the boundaries of the Jin greater area are continuously integrated with the territory of the original ancient sea, but they have not affected the boundaries of those communities within the boundaries of the Jin greater area. Those community boundaries are still suspended in time and space, but the external environment of the community boundaries has changed. At this time, the creatures in the community found that they could not come out at all, and the barriers of time and space became extremely strong. Even the ancestors of the 9 layers had to spend some time to break the barriers. Therefore, before the confluence period is over, the living beings in the millions of communities in the Jin greater region will not be able to leave. Due to the existence of the confluence period, the original ancient sea can be directly entered from the Jin area boundary. In the same way, from the original ancient sea can also enter the Jin area. However, whether it is the super-strengthened object level of the original ancient sea, or the super-strong 9-layer original ancestor of the silent Black Sea, or the super-strengthened object level of the truncated forbidden area, they don't care about the Jin region boundary at all, their eyes are fixed on Jin. The common border between the boundary of the river region and the territory of the original ancient sea. It was a dark area, as if streaks of golden light penetrated. That is the treasure of the confluence period, from the unknown. Those in the primordial ancient sea to the enhanced level did not enter immediately, but let the densely packed primitive antiquities enter to investigate. However, those primitive antiquities of the eightfold primitive ancestor level fell directly into the treasure land of the confluence period. For flowers, obviously, the strength of the original ancestor of the 8 layers is too weak, and he is not even qualified to enter this treasure land. A dangerous treasure. Many Zeons were not worried, but rather happy. The more dangerous it is, the more opportunities there are. Since there is danger, there is no need for Ye Yuanzu's cannon fodder to investigate, let's go in personally. 1. One by one, the original ancestors of the 9 strong and the highest level of enhancement have escaped into this treasure land. As for the original ancestors of the 9 layers, they have not yet entered, and they are still waiting for the news. They will only enter if the original ancestors of the 9 layers of the strong or the enhanced material level inform them that they can enter. After all, they don't dare to joke about their own lives. Soon, the original ancestors of the Xeon 9th layer came with a message to let them enter this treasure land. Point 0. Immediately, a statue of Zhejiang or a silk maker escaped into this treasured place. What a powerful suppression! After Yi Tian entered this treasured place, he immediately felt an unimaginable oppression. If he didn't have the cultivation base of the 9 layers primordial ancestor, once he entered this place, his body would probably collapse. It is no wonder that after the original ancestors came in, they fell directly. The suppression here is so terrifying, mainly from the golden light that is densely covered in the void. These rays of light are like sunlight, but after shining on the body, it will bring unimaginable burden and suppression to the body. Certainly, Yi Tian's strength is so powerful that he ignores the suppression here. Immediately, he began to investigate the surrounding situation. This treasure land is very big. For example, after he first came in, he did not sense the aura of the original ancestors of the 9-layered Xeon, which was obviously far away. In addition, the range of his perception is not far less than the outside world. Yi Tian did not choose to cooperate with the other 9 ancestors of the 9 layers building, but spread out. After all, although it is safer to cooperate together, how to find the resources and treasures is also a problem. Shish. One by one, the original ancestors of the 9 layers fled away, and Yi Tian also found a direction to leave. And the other side, Yi Tian's soul-splitting red beast's copy body is also separated from other objects, but his copy body has the imprint of Soul Lao on his body. If he is in danger, he can ask Soul Elder to save the corpse. Chapter 2284 Gray-Red River. Open black lens bracket full order close black lens bracket. Soon. Those Xeon 9th ancestors passed on the general information of this area, and told them not to enter the core area, because those to strengthen the object level and the Xeon 9th ancestors are all fighting in the core area of this territory to grab the opportunity for precious treasures. Yi Tian also received the information, so he won't go to the core area of this territory for the time being, and just hang out on the periphery. Since he was very unfamiliar with this territory, Yi Tian did not dare to advance rashly, and could only explore the surroundings carefully. In a short while, Yi Tian sensed the existence of some creatures. These creatures are very powerful, they are the indigenous creatures of this territory. Golden Ape. This is the race information detected by the copy talent. Boom. A golden ancient ape was besieging a creature-level existence, and the fluctuations of the battle between the two sides spread. Yi Tian did not go over immediately, but hid and observed around. 23. The strength of that object level is not strong, and it is comparable to the 4th step of the original ancestor of the 9 layers, and those golden apes are even weaker, and they are comparable to the weaker 5th step, the original ancestor of the 9 layers. However, the number of golden apes was very large, so it was difficult for the creature to escape. Of course, unless the strength gap is too great, it is very difficult to kill the battle between the material level or the 9 original ancestors. And these golden ancient apes only have an advantage by virtue of their numbers, and it is still difficult to kill that avatar. If this avatar is desperate, there is no problem in escaping. It's just that this avatar doesn't want to run away, and is obviously waiting for rescue. Could there be something good here? Yi Tian thought to himself. Immediately, he began to investigate the surroundings carefully, and finally found a piece of golden red fruit. These fruits were born and grown from tiny golden trees, and these golden trees grew out of the depths of time and space, absorbing the origin of this piece of heaven and earth. What kind of fruit is this? Yi Tian was a little curious. But there is no doubt that this fruit is definitely a very precious treasure, and it will have unimaginable benefits to the ancestors of the 9 layers. At this time, there are also a group of golden apes guarding these fruits, so if you want to take away these fruits, you must defeat this group of golden ancient apes. Yi Tian didn't hesitate at all, and was ready to start immediately, otherwise the phantom level powerhouse called for other phantom levels, and he was afraid that it would not be his turn. Yuan Dun is extremely fast. Yi Tian crossed over to those golden trees at a very fast speed, immediately attracting the attention of those golden ancient apes. Boom. The two sides fight immediately. I saw Yi Tian cast the 9-layer black domain, wearing a colorless mask, holding an endless golden spear, and one blow pierced through the golden ancient apes. He is the 2nd step of the 9-fold original ancestor, and this group of golden apes is only the 5th step, and the strength of the two sides is very different. With one move, he can severely injure many golden apes, and in a short period of time, he can kill all these golden apes. However, his goal is to take away the golden fruit here, which is the most important thing. In an instant, golden fruits fell into Yi Tian's hands. Although the group of golden apes tried to stop him, they were severely injured or killed by him. After a while, these golden fruits were all taken away by Yi Tian. Then, Yi Tian escaped at an extremely fast speed. Just a few moments after Yi Tian left, several avatars appeared here, and one of the avatars' strength was comparable to that of the third-level ninefold primitive ancestor. These avatars quickly defeated these golden apes, but they also knew that the golden fruit was taken away by Yi Tian, so they could only choose to leave. But just as they were about to leave, 3 extremely terrifying golden apes appeared. No, let's go. The complexion of these several chemical grades changed drastically, and they immediately wanted to escape. But the strength of these 3 golden ancient apes is comparable to that of the 9th-level ancestors of the second step, and they are still the top second step. Even Yi Tian can't beat 1 head alone, let alone 3 heads. Boom! The 3 golden apes fought against the 3 morphs. After a while, 1 morph fell, and the other morphs were severely injured and fled. I have to say that these chemical grades are a bit unlucky, and they have suffered such losses without getting anything. Now, these few objects have been severely injured and escaped, and they must leave here, otherwise they may not be able to save their lives here. I don't have time to study these golden fruits, so let's look for other resources. Yi Tian muttered. Subsequently, he began to look for other resources. However, many precious resources in this territory are controlled by some creatures. If you want to obtain these resources, you have to fight against these creatures. Of course, there are also some resources that are not guarded by creatures, but some luck is required. In addition, practitioners and primitive antiquities will also fight. For example, Yi Tian has been attacked and killed many times by the original antiquities of the chemical level, but he has nothing to do because of his strength. With the passage of time, Yi Tian has more and more resources. This day, Yi Tian received a message from Dongchen Daozu. Endless Daozu, come here immediately. Dongchen Daozu gave him a coordinate and asked him to head this territory immediately. Yi Tian didn't know what was going on, but Daozu Dongchen asked him to go over. There must be something good, so he rushed over immediately. Almost a few moments later, the soul-splitting red beast's clone body also received a message from Soul Lao, which also put him in the same position. Obviously, these to strengthen the material level or the ninefold original ancestor of the ninefold found a treasure of opportunity that is of great help to the ninefold ancestor, so they want to let them pass immediately so as not to miss the opportunity. In a short while, Yi Tian passed through the long territory, came to the core area of this territory, and saw Dongchen Daozu and the others. At this time, a group of 9-layer primitive ancestors and material objects have been gathered here, all of which have been called. Endless Dao Ancestor, go in immediately. Dongchen Daozu ordered. At the same time, Dongchen Daozu transmitted some information to him, allowing him to instantly understand the situation. It turned out that Daozu Dongchen and the others found a nest of racial forces here, and they joined forces to kill the 3 creatures that were comparable to the enhanced material level, occupied this place, and then found a special treasure. This treasure land is an unimaginable treasure land for the material level or the ninefold original ancestor, and because the intersection period ends, this treasure land disappears. Therefore, they let the original ancestor of the 9 layers or the 5.9 level transformation to enter the treasure land to practice, and improve their strength at the fastest speed. Yi Tian immediately entered a special space in the crevice of the mountain, where a gray-red river flows, and this river is a kind of special energy. One by one, the original ancestors of the 9 layers and the material level entered here, and immediately absorbed the energy of the gray-red river. Boom! Unimaginable energy poured into the body and began to temper Yi Tian's body, strengthening the level of life and cultivation. The speed of this improvement is far faster than ever before, and with the cultivation of everyone, the gray-red river is getting smaller and smaller. Obviously, this river will be exhausted, and even if it can continue to be born, it will take a long time. Immediately, Yi Tian has exerted various Yuan Dao ancestral gifts, refining this gray-red energy at a speed far exceeding the absorption speed of other ninefold ancestors or chemical grades. Chapter 2285 The Hope of Copying the Talent to Upgrade Again. Open black lens bracket seeking full order close black lens bracket. The gray-red river is getting smaller and smaller, and the cultivation realm and life level of the many 9-layer primitive ancestors, the material level and the life level are naturally getting higher and higher. Especially Yi Tian, got the most benefits. Time passed slowly, and this long gray-red river was gradually running out of energy. At this time, Yi Tian's life level has already reached 107, this is a huge transformation. As the level of life skyrocketed, his physical body became incomparably powerful, and his strength was greatly improved. With his current strength, he is already infinitely close to the first step of the ninefold primordial ancestor, saving countless years of hard work. The life level has been raised to 107, and I only need to raise it again to reach the 108 life level, and I can use the eternal flint to attack the original ancestor of the Zeon 9th layer. Yi Tian said excitedly. Of course, it is extremely difficult to raise the life level from 107 to 108. Many of the first step ninefold ancestors have been unable to attack the ninefold ancestors because they are trapped in this step. Think of the shadow stone of the original giant stone tribe, who has obtained the eternal flint for countless years, and has the help of the entire giant stone tribe, but has not reached this step. If 29 were this easy, the eternal flint would not have fallen into his hands. After another period of time, the gray-red river's energy was completely exhausted. So, one by one, the original ancestors of the 9 layers and the powerhouses of the material level came out from it. At this time, the original ancestors of the 9th level of the strong and the powerhouses of the strongest level have already left here, and it is impossible for them to wait here forever. After all, there are so many treasures here, they won't waste time staying here. Shish. One by one, the original ancestors of the 9 layers and the powerhouses of the material level also quickly fled away and did not dare to stay here. Unexpected. A battle broke out somewhere between the original ancestors of the 9th level of the strong and the enhanced objects. Yi Tian and the others did not dare to approach, and quickly moved away from this area. However, Yi Tian did not completely leave the core area, he still wanted to take a risk. So, he sneaked away in the other direction. When he came to a certain place, he suddenly felt a faint attraction. This attraction attracted his copy talent, and this familiar feeling made Yi Tian realize that there must be a treasure that can upgrade his copy talent somewhere in front of him. There is hope for a copy talent upgrade. Yi Tian was very excited, so he went very cautiously. Along the way, he sensed a lot of terrifying creatures, and there were even creatures that were comparable to the original rank of the Zeon 9th layer. However, he did not break into the opponent's territory, and if he bypassed it, he would not encounter the opponent's attack. In this way, he never had an accident. Of course, this is also his copy talent, and he can detect the talent and aura strength of these creatures so as to avoid them. If it was another ninefold ancestor, I don't know how many times he died. I'm getting close to that treasure, Yi Tian secretly said. Soon, Yi Tian arrived at the destination. At this time, he sensed a group of extremely powerful creatures. This is a race called the Purple Dragon Void Insect. There are thousands of Purple Dragon Void Insects here, and the weakest Purple Dragon Void Insects have the strength of the 5th step of the ninefold primitive ancestor. And that treasure is in the center of the Purple Dragon Void Worm's territory. It is an extravagant hope to sneak into it with his strength. Once it is discovered, it will definitely die. The Zilong Void Insect family has to strengthen the existence, and there are more than one. My strength is far weaker than the other party, I will definitely be discovered by them. Yi Tian thought about it carefully, it seemed that there was only one way. That is, he copied a Purple Dragon Void Worm, and then sneaked into the Purple Dragon Void Worm territory as a copy of the Purple Dragon Void Worm's body, so that he had the opportunity to take that treasure. Certainly. The premise is that he can find a single Purple Dragon Void Worm to ensure that the other party will not return to the Purple Dragon Void Worm territory. In this way, if he copies the other's body, his identity will not be exposed. But such an opportunity is not easy to find. He waited for a few days, but none of these Purple Dragon Void Worms left. And the number of Purple Dragon Void Insects is in the thousands. Once there is no suitable opportunity, just copying a Purple Dragon Void Insect will definitely be exposed. Once exposed, the Zilong Void Insect clan will have vigilance, and he will have no chance. If the Zilong Void Insect clan breaks out into war, then there is a chance. Yi Tian muttered. Unexpected. He thought of a way, that is, he copied a Purple Dragon Void Worm, and then went to attack other races, triggering a war between the two races. In this way, he will have the opportunity to fish in troubled waters. Subsequently, Yi Tian copied a Purple Dragon Void Worm whose strength was comparable to the 2nd step of the 9th layer primitive ancestor, and then went to find another powerful race not too far from here, the Black Winged Ape race. The number of Black Winged Apes is smaller, but each individual is very powerful. Then, Yi Tian chose a weaker Black Winged Ape clan, roughly comparable to the fourth step of the nine-fold primitive ancestor. In a mountain range, a black-winged ape is waiting for a treasure to mature. Unexpected, a purple dragon void worm appeared. Seeing the purple worm, Blackwing didn't feel anything, it wasn't too far away, and it was often encountered. However, they do not run into rivers, and they rarely conflict with each other. But suddenly, 203, the purple dragon void worm attacked him. Not good. The black-winged ape was shivering all over and immediately called for help. Unfortunately, the strength gap between the two sides is too great, and it has no chance to wait for assistance at all. Boom! After several tricks, the black-winged ape was killed by Yi Tian. Afterwards, Yi Tian annihilated this cloned body, and the black-winged ape who arrived couldn't find the murderer at all. However, the black-winged ape clan still locked the beast through their breath, and it was the purple dragon void worm clan who did it. However, the war between the two races is not so easy to happen. Seeing this, Yi Tian began to plan a second attack. This time, after Yi Tian killed a black-winged ape, he did not let the purple dragon void worm copy its body to escape, but waited to be caught by the black-winged ape on the spot. Boom! A black-winged ape whose strength was comparable to the enhanced material level appeared, and his breath was extremely terrifying, causing the surrounding time and space to completely freeze. Seeing the arrival of the other party, Yi Tian let this duplicate body explode directly. Purple dragon void worm, you are courting death. The black-winged ape at the enhanced level was extremely angry, and the sound roared around the time and space. The next moment, it returned to the clan, ready to attack the purple dragon void insect clan. Chapter 2286 Pansion Collar. Open black lens bracket seeking full order close black lens bracket. Soon, the black-winged ape clan led a large number of clansmen to trouble the Zilong void insect clan, and the two clans fought directly. In an instant, this area turned into a battlefield. Seeing this scene, Yi Tian knew that his plan was successful. When the purple dragon void worm and the black-winged ape clan fight, he can fish in troubled waters, and one of the fallen purple dragon void worms will not be discovered at all. Soon, Yi Tian found an opportunity and sensed a killed purple dragon void insect, immediately copied it, and then entered the battlefield to erase the traces of the dead purple dragon void insect. However, he hid himself and did not fight against the powerful black-winged ape. In this case, this cloned body would not fall. At the same time, Yi Tian deliberately inflicted heavy damage on this replica body, and then returned to the territory of the purple dragon void worm. Then, he followed the attraction to the place where the treasure was. The territory of the purple dragon void worm is very large, and there are many precious resources here. Yi Tian doesn't have time to collect other resources. For him, the most important thing at the moment is to find the treasure that can upgrade his copying talent. That treasure is more precious to him than any resource treasure. I found it, it's here. Yi Tian came to a purple mountain. Fortunately, there is no defense in this session. Maybe there were defenses before, but they all went to help fight, so this session now does not have a Zilong void worm. So, Yi Tian immediately sneaked into this purple mountain. Lots of resources, Yi Tian said excitedly. However, he did not pick, because once found, it would be difficult to leave. If only one kind of treasure is picked, the probability of being discovered is very low. He didn't want to take any risk until the treasure was safely transported away. According to the attraction of the copying talent, he quickly locked the location of the treasure, which was located in the depths of this purple mountain. Click, Yi Tian tore apart Zishan, and soon came to the deep position of Zishan, and grabbed a purple stone with only one hand. That's it, Yi Tian stared at the purple stone and was extremely excited. If it weren't for the attraction of the copy talent, he would not have thought that this purple stone could upgrade the copy talent. Subsequently, Yi Tian left here, and then left the purple dragon void worm territory. The whole process went very smoothly without any trouble. Then, Yi Tian called the purple stone to his other copy body, and this made the copy body of the purple dragon void worm return to the purple dragon void worm territory again. After all, there are still a lot of resources in the Zilong void worm territory, so naturally, we must take this opportunity to collect more resources. And his cloned body also found a place where there were no powerful creatures, and hid it and started refining the purple stone. He wants to refine the purple stone as soon as possible and upgrade his copying talent. Once upgraded, even if the copy body falls, it doesn't matter. The energy of the purple stone was continuously absorbed and refined by Yi Tian's copy talent, and the copy talent began to evolve, and the process was very painful. But when he thinks of the benefits of copying the talent upgrade, he doesn't think this pain is anything. Time passed slowly, and after a long time, the copy talent finally completed the upgrade. At this time, Yi Tian began to copy the dark immeasurable ancestors he saw at the beginning. Soon, the immeasurable dark ancestors were copied successfully. After the copying talent was upgraded, Yi Tian's number of copying bodies also increased by 2, and the level of items that could copy everything was also higher. For example, he now estimates that he can directly copy treasures like the eternal flint, but the copied eternal flint cannot help people break through the shackles. Very good, with the upgrade of copying talent, my current potential has been greatly improved. If I copy an immeasurable ancestral talent, then my potential will reach an unbelievable level. Yi Tian thought to himself. In the territory of the Purple Dragon Void Insect Clan, there were frequent battles, and both the Black-Winged Ape Clan and the Purple Dragon Void Insect Clan suffered heavy losses. And in the days that followed, Yi Tian would mine some resources of the Zilong Void Insect Clan as long as he found an opportunity, and then send them out. Since he did not get many resources each time he started, it did not cause much disturbance. In order to obtain more resources, Yi Tian copied 2 cloned bodies to search for resources in this territory. A large amount of resources were transported from the replica bodies one by one, making Yi Tian more and more resources. He doesn't know when the confluence period will end, so he wants to take the opportunity to get more resources. At the same time, Yi Tian also obtained some key information through the Purple Dragon Void Insect Clan. For example, this territory is called Panchen Territory, but now Panchen Territory has lost contact with the outside world, and this territory has changed. In addition to the Panchen Territory, there are many territories, and countless territories have built a huge territory. This realm is called Xuanqi Realm. As for what is outside the Xuanqi Territory, the ordinary people of the Zilong Void Insect Clan do not know. Perhaps the few to strengthen the material level powerhouse know, but Yi Tian does not dare to ask them rashly. In the days that followed, not only did he harvest a lot of resources, he also made 2 immeasurable ancestors. These 2 immeasurable ancestral gifts were copied from 2 extremely terrifying to enhanced creatures. Of course, Yi Tian only sensed their immeasurable ancestors from a distance and did not approach them, but he was still sensed by them and was killed instantly. Fortunately, Yi Tian successfully copied the 2 immeasurable ancestors. This is the harvest. These 2 immeasurable ancestors, one is the immeasurable ancestor of gold, and the other is the immeasurable ancestor of water. With 2 more completed infinite ancestral Fus, Yi Tian will comprehend the infinite Tao in the future, and the efficiency will be greatly improved. Boom! The entire coiled mountain collar began to tremble. Yi Tian knew very well that this was the end of the confluence period. Take advantage of the last chance to grab resources crazily. Yi Tian doesn't care if these cloned bodies can evacuate safely, it's good to get some more resources. In the end, Yi Tian only had 3 cloned bodies to escape. The soul-splitting red beast is alive, and there is a human clone and a purple dragon void worm. However, the purple dragon void worm is definitely unable to leave. Therefore, after Yi Tian obtained the resources of the purple dragon void insect, he let the purple dragon void insect copy its body and annihilate itself. Not long after, Yi Tian was let out from Panchen. Shortly after Yi Tian came out, the confluence period ended and the Panchen collar disappeared. Chapter 2287 The Immeasurable Tao is complete. Open black lens bracket seeking full order close black lens bracket. It's a pity that the meeting period is a bit short. After Yi Tian was let out from Panchen, he sighed to himself. However, he found that the number of Zhejiang primitive ancestors brought out from Panchen was much less. After returning to the 9th level building, Yi Tian found out that more than 29th level ancestors had fallen from the 9th level building this time. You must know that the number of ancestors of the 9 layers is rare, not to mention more than 20 fallen. Moreover, there is also a second tier 9 level ancestor who has fallen. However, the loss of the 9-layered building is not the greatest, and the deviated world is even more unfortunate and has lost a supreme ancestor of the 9-layered. Hearing this news, Yi Tian was really shocked. It is simply incredible that a supreme ancestor of the 9-layered ancestor has fallen. However, the original antiquities also lost 2 to strengthen the level, and the truncated forbidden area also lost 1 to strengthen the level. How did these Zeons fall? The news has not come out. But they definitely encountered incomparably terrifying creatures of the enhanced level, perhaps even in large numbers, before they fell. After all, there are quite a few to strengthen the level of the Panchen collar, and once it is surrounded and killed, it is normal to fall to 220. Just like Yi Tian himself, if he didn't have the energy to copy other creatures, bodies, so he could mix into each race, or he would not be able to live even if he had the strength to strengthen the material level and dared to be so arrogant. Since the end of the confluence period, whether it is the 5 top powers of the Silent Black Sea, or those that cut off the restricted area to the enhanced level, they have all retreated one by one. Obviously, these Zeons have obtained huge benefits, and they are all using the benefits obtained during the confluence period to enhance their strength. And Yi Tian also began to retreat in practice. This time, he has obtained a huge amount of resources, among which there are many treasures that can improve the level of life and limitless will, and some treasures can also increase understanding and can quickly understand the limitless path. In addition, he has copied many immeasurable ancestors, so it is easier to comprehend the immeasurable path. With his current talent and potential, it is naturally not difficult to comprehend the infinite Tao to the realm of Dachang. Time flies, and trillions of years have passed in the blink of an eye. In the boundless time and space, Yi Tian exuded the aura of the great achievement infinite Tao, but he was quickly restrained. Immeasurable Tao finally ascended to the realm of Dachang. Yi Tian was quite excited. Afterwards, he spent some time perfecting his infinite Tao control skills to the small perfection level. Possessing these small perfection level infinite Tao control skills, his strength skyrocketed, and he officially entered the first step of the ninefold primordial ancestor, but he was not weak in this first step. With his current strength, even if he is not as good as the 9-level ancestors such as Shijuan Daozu, the gap should not be big. And Yi Tian's boundless will is still improving. It has been raised to 108 scales, and there are still many resources on hand, which is enough to raise the boundless will to 120 scales. At that time, his strength has to be improved. Not only that, his life level also showed signs of advancing to 108. If it can be raised to 108 life levels, his life level is only a thin line away from the original ancestor of the Zeon 9th layer. Before becoming the original ancestor of the Zeon Ninefold, there is still a lot of room for improvement in my strength. 1. Yi Tian muttered. Since Yi Tian's immeasurable Tao has become a great success, immeasurable time and space have been of little help to him. Maybe the boundless time and space in the peak period would still be helpful, but now the boundless time and space are almost unable to support it, and naturally there is no way for him to quickly comprehend the boundless Tao. It is too difficult for him to comprehend the immeasurable path to the perfect state. Like the 9 original ancestors of the 9-layered building, only one has raised the immeasurable path to the ultimate realm, and the others are in the perfect realm. It is conceivable how difficult it is to improve the immeasurable path. They all used countless years CJFJ of time to slowly boil it, and then they boiled the immeasurable path to the perfect state. That is to say, Yi Tian has a large amount of Yuan Dao ancestral Fu and many immeasurable ancestral Fu, so that he can raise the infinite Dao to the realm of great achievement in such a short time. But even if his comprehension speed is countless times that of the other 9 ancestors, it will only shorten the time many times, and it is impossible to raise the infinite Dao to the realm of great achievement in one fell swoop. It would be great if you could enter into other treasured habits that are helpful for comprehending the immeasurable path. Yi Tian thought to himself. At this time, he thought of truncating the penalty area. Will there be such a place in the truncated restricted area? It's just that the creatures who cut off the restricted area do not comprehend the immeasurable way, they are taking the path of primitive antiquities. Cut off the restricted area. Because those who reach the enhanced material level are in retreat, they will not let any material level disturb them. Therefore, the truncation forbidden area is controlled by those 9 ancestors. Yi Tian's strength itself is very strong, and his talent is high, so he has a high status in the clan of the Split Soul Red Beast, and uses the clan of the Split Soul Red Beast to inquire into the treasure land that can comprehend the immeasurable Tao. Of course, he did not explicitly state that he was looking for a treasured place to comprehend the immeasurable path, but said that he was comprehending a secret technique and needed a suitable treasured land. In this way, he has to look for places like infinite time and space. In addition, he occasionally searched for it himself, stepped into the territory of other races, or copied the body of other races to sneak in, and finally found a place after many inquiries. No Ming Mountain. This is jellyfish territory. But now the jellyfish is in retreat, and the jellyfish has no subordinates or clansmen, so the Wuming Mountain is not guarded. This day, Yi Tian, Sanming Mountain. As soon as he entered Wuming Mountain, he immediately discovered the problem of Wuming Mountain. There is a problem with Wuming Mountain. There is a force here that will constantly erode the infinite will and make people crazy. Yi Tian muttered. He suspects that the reason why the jellyfish is crazy has something to do with Wuming Mountain. Of course, jellyfish are mainly due to racial issues, and Wuming Mountain is not fundamental. But if you come here to practice at the general level, you will definitely go crazy. Therefore, even if many ancestors of the 9 layers knew that Wuming Mountain was a good treasure and asked them to come here to practice, they would not come. For me, the problem of Wuming Mountain is not a problem at all. I am here to comprehend the immeasurable Tao. If there is a problem with the body or the immeasurable will, it's a big deal to annihilate and copy the body directly. So, Yi Tian let a replica body comprehend the immeasurable Tao here. Anyway, no matter level will come here, and the jellyfish is in retreat again. Even if it is out, it is unlikely to enter Wuming Mountain. In the following years, Yi Tian comprehended the immeasurable Tao in Wuming Mountain. As soon as he comprehended enlightenment, he found that Wuming Mountain's help in comprehending the immeasurable Tao far exceeded the boundless time and space. If he cultivates in Wuming Mountain, his immeasurable path will definitely increase rapidly. Chapter 2288 Breakthrough, Infinite Elementary Life Form. Open black lens bracket full order close black lens bracket. No Ming Mountain. Yi Tian's replica body is here to comprehend the infinite Tao, and the realm of the infinite Tao is constantly improving. In the boundless time and space, his boundless progress has been very slow, and even often gets into a bottleneck. But here, there are hardly any bottlenecks, rapid progress. Seeing this progress, Yi Tian was very happy. Time passed slowly, and Yi Tian's immeasurable path gradually approached the state of perfection. Before you know it, the 10 trillion yuan era has passed. This day, Yi Tian's infinite Tao finally ushered in a breakthrough, and his infinite Tao broke through from the great completion realm to the perfection realm. You must know that countless original ancestors of the 9 layers have all dreamed of elevating the infinite Tao to the perfect state, but they have not succeeded. Some Xeon 9th level ancestors only realize the immeasurable path to the perfect state after a period of years after they became Xeon 9th level ancestors. One can imagine how terrifying it is that Yi Tian has raised the infinite Tao to the perfection realm in such a short period of time. After the breakthrough of the infinite Tao, Yi Tian perfected and improved his own control skills of the infinite Tao of the small perfection level to the control skills of the infinite Tao of the great perfection level. As a result, his own strength skyrocketed again. And not long after the infinite Tao broke through to the perfect state, his life level broke through again, reaching the 108 life level. In addition, after these years of tempering, his immeasurable will has spent countless treasures, and finally his immeasurable will has been tempered to the 120 mark. So far, he has almost risen to the current pinnacle in the realm of the ninefold primitive ancestor. I am afraid that my current strength has surpassed the first step of the ninefold ancestor, and it is even comparable to the weaker Xeon ninefold ancestor. Yi Tian muttered. At his step, although he can continue to temper his body and slowly improve his strength, there is no need for that. If he wants to quickly improve his strength, he must break the shackles and be promoted to the original ancestor of the 9-layer super strong. As for the original ancestor of the 9-layered Xeon, it is naturally better to break through in the 9-layered building. Then, a copy of Yi Tian's body entered the supreme golden mountain of the 9-story building. The highest gold mountain, Yi Tian entered here and used the eternal flint to break the shackles of the life level. Since the 9 original ancestors of the 9-layered building were still in retreat, they did not know that Yi Tian was attacking the original ancestors of the 9-layered Xeon, otherwise they would have come over long ago. However, the 9 ancestors of the first steps of the 9-story building came. These are the Daozu of Shizhuan, the Daozu of Weiguang, and the Daozu of Shengxing. At this time, Shizhuan Daozu sighed. Before the tens of trillions of Yuan era, the endless Daozu was only the 8th level ancestor. I didn't expect such a short-lived thing. He would have to attack the Xeon 9th level ancestor, such a breakthrough. It's too fast. Is endless Daozu confident? Weiguang Daozu worried. He has also attacked the original Xeon 9th layer, but he failed, so he knows how difficult it is to attack the Xeon 9th layer original ancestor. The endless Dao ancestor has an eternal flint in his hand. In theory, the success rate of the eternal fire stone in helping to break the shackles of life is as high as 70%. If the luck is not bad, it can be successfully broken. However, the endless Dao ancestor's cultivation time is too short, and the accumulation may not be enough, said Godstar Daozu. Shizhuan Daozu said slightly, I persuaded endless Daozu before, let him stay in the 9-fold original ancestor for thousands of trillions of years, and then stabilize the foundation, so the success rate will be higher, but he insists on attacking the Shanqiang 9 layer now. Primordial realm. Endless Daozu's talent is very high, and his potential is also very high. The success rate should be higher. It's useless to worry about it now. Let's wait and see here. Daozu Weiguang said. At this time, Yi Tian was at the top of the highest golden mountain, and integrated the eternal flint into his body, madly absorbing the energy of the eternal flint. Before, his life level was too low to use the eternal flint. But now, his life level has reached 108, so he can use the eternal flint. In fact, Yi Tian did not rely on the eternal flint, but relying on countless attempts, he also had the hope of breaking through to become the original ancestor of the Zeon ninth layer. But now that there is eternal flint, he is too lazy to make countless attempts, and directly uses eternal flint to make breakthroughs. With his talent and potential, if he still fails, no one can break through and succeed. For the other 9 ancestors, the success rate of using the eternal flint to break through is 70%, but here he is 100%. Boom! The energy of the eternal flint was madly absorbed by Yi Tian, hitting the shackles of the life level. Time passed slowly, and after a long time, the shackles of Yi Tian's life began to loosen. For flowers, a moment, crack, the shackles of life in the dark were torn apart, and Yi Tian's life level began to break through from 108 to 109. Of course, the 109 life level is just Yi Tian's statement. In fact, after breaking the shackles, it is no longer the 109 life level. Whether it is the supreme ninefold primitive ancestor or the enhanced material level, this level is called the infinite life form. After Yi Tian broke through, the life level reached the first order limitless life form. At this moment, Yi Tian's body frantically absorbed the energy of the highest gold mountain. Soon, the energy of the highest gold mountain began to decrease, which immediately attracted the attention of some Taoist ancestors in the highest gold mountain. 0. All Taoist ancestors climb the mountain, temporarily break. Shizhuan Daozu waited for one shot, and moved each Daozu out. After all, when Yi Tian broke through, all the energy was absorbed by Yi Tian. Even if other Taoist ancestors really wanted to break through, they would definitely fail. As time passed, the highest gold mountain began to dim. For this reason, Yi Tian took out a lot of resources as resources to fill. At the same time, Shizhuan Daozu and the others also took out some of the inventory in the 9-story building and sent them to the Supreme Golden Mountain to help Yi Tian complete the breakthrough. In this way, after a long time, Yi Tian has truly stepped into the first-order boundless life form, his strength has undergone a huge transformation, and he has leapt to the level of the powerful ancestor of the 9 high-level ancestors. After Yi Tian made a complete breakthrough, Shi Chaos Dao ancestor and the others appeared. Congratulations to the endless Taoist ancestor for achieving the highest 9-fold ancestor. Congratulations to the endless Taoist ancestor for achieving the highest 9-fold ancestor. Congratulations to the endless Taoist ancestor for achieving the highest 9-fold original ancestor. 1. Shizhuan Daozu and the others congratulated them one after another. You are welcome, Yi Tian responded. Immediately, Yi Tian left Zhigao Jinshan, came to the Shuchuan Xuanlu, and began to retreat for a period of time. One was to stabilize his realm, and the other was to use this time to improve his boundless will and life level. In this way, you can also increase some strength. And not long after, the news of Yi Tian's step into becoming the original ancestor of the Supreme Ninth Layer came out, shocking countless forces, and even the original Ji Yuhai was shocked when he knew about it. Chapter 2289 Cut off the cracks in Montenegro. Open black lens bracket full order close black lens bracket. This day, several original ancestors of the 9-layered building have left the customs, of course, only temporarily. They originally wanted to know the situation in the outside world, but they did not expect to find that Yi Tian had broken through to the realm of the original 9th-level supreme ancestor, so they came to see Yi Tian directly. This time, Yi Tian directly saw the 6 original ancestors of the 9-layered building. Dongchen Daozu, Beiyu Daozu, Xuanyan Daozu, Shanfeng Daozu, Zhuli Daozu and Danghai Daozu. As for the other 3 original ancestors of the Zeon Ninefold, they are still recovering because of their serious injuries. Therefore, Yi Tian wants to see them after a long time. Endless Daozu, congratulations. Dongchen Daozu and the others congratulated them. At this time, they were also very confused, and it didn't take long for Yi Tian to break through to their level of 2020. Afterwards, Yi Tian talked with Dongchen Daozu and the others, and Dongchen Daozu also told Yi Tian a lot of secrets. This made Yi Tian gradually know about many secrets, such as the Xuanqi territory where Panshan territory is located, and these Zhejiang primordial ancestors know more than him. After all, Yi Tian only obtained some information from the purple dragon void worm, and these Zeon 9th layer primitives had encountered many times of confluence, although each time they encountered a different Xuanqi domain. But based on the information, they naturally have a lot of understanding of Xuanqi territory. And the name of the infinite life form is also known to them from the Xuanqi realm. There are many territories like Panchen territory, Xuanqi territory. As for the immeasurable beings at the level of the original ancestor of the Xian ninth layer, there are also many in the Xuanqi territory, and any territory has a large number of such immeasurable beings. Dongchen Daozu, before in the Panchen collar, the devious world lost a Xian ninth level ancestor, the original ancient sea and the truncated forbidden area have Xian fallen, what happened? Yi Tian asked curiously. Dongchen Daozu said with emotion, we found a treasure, which contains a lot of precious resources, and even helped us break the level of life, from the beginning of the infinite life form to the high-order infinite life form. As a result, we encountered a terrifying treasure. The attack of the race. That race has 3 intermediate-level immeasurable life forms, and they also master the immeasurable way, and they are also the immeasurable way of the perfect state. The Xian ninth-level ancestor of the devious world was the first to discover the treasure land, so he was attacked for the first time. The original Xian ninth layer ancestor was only a first-level immeasurable life form, and the immeasurable path was also a perfect state. Therefore, he was killed by several tricks, and there was no time to rescue him. And we were able to retreat, thanks to Juju. Zan Daozu. If it wasn't for the 9 profound Dao ancestors to hold back the immeasurable intermediate-level beings, we would have lost 1 or 2 Xian ninth-level ancestors as well. Ju Zan Dao ancestor. Yi Tian knew that this Taoist ancestor was the founder of the 9-layered building and the most powerful ancestor of the 9-layered building. From the mouths of Dongchen Daozu and the others, Jushuan Daozu has raised the limitless way to the limit state, and has also raised the level of life almost to the middle-order limitless life form, which is regarded as a half-step intermediate-order limitless life body. It can be said that the Ju Zan Dao ancestor only needs to improve a little bit before he can break the shackles and be promoted to a middle-level immeasurable life form. But even so, Ju Zan Dao ancestor was still no match for the immeasurable intermediate-level life form. If it wasn't for the immeasurable realm of the 9 profound Daozu being higher and reaching the ultimate realm, he would have fallen into the hands of that middle-level immeasurable being. From this, it can be seen that the gap between the first-order immeasurable life forms and the intermediate-order immeasurable life forms is too great. If a middle-level immeasurable life form is to deal with the weaker first-order immeasurable life form, it can even be killed in seconds. In Panchen Ling, many Xians also depended on the number to lose so little, otherwise they would have to stay. Is Ju Zan Dao ancestor seriously injured? Yi Tian asked. The injury is not minor. Dongchen Daozu said. However, Ju Zan Daozu also snatched a treasure. If the injury recovers, he still has hope to use that treasure to attack the middle-level infinite life form. Are there any intermediate-level immeasurable life forms in the Silent Black Sea, the Primordial Ancient Sea, and the Truncated Restricted Area? Yi Tian asked curiously again. Not yet. Dongchen Daozu shook his head and said, but after this time, there may be a middle-level immeasurable life form. No matter which force gave birth to the immeasurable intermediate-level life forms, it would suddenly become the most powerful force. If there is a middle-level immeasurable life form born on the side of the Silent Black Sea, it will definitely launch a war on the original Ancient Sea, and take the opportunity to kill some of the original Ancient Sea to the level of enhancement. The same is true for the original Ancient Sea. Therefore, it depends on which of the 2 parties gives birth to a middle-level immeasurable life form first. It is precisely because the situation is very critical that one by one the most powerful ancestors of the 9 major forces in the Black Sea are eager to retreat in practice. And those who cut off the Black Sea to strengthen the level also have similar ideas, and they have also retreated one by one. Not long after Dongchen Daozu communicated with Yi Tian, they continued to retreat in practice. After all, a war will come soon, and it is naturally the best to improve some strengths during this period, so they do not want to delay their cultivation time. I have only just become a primary level immeasurable being, and it is not realistic to want to step into an intermediate level immeasurable being in a short period of time. Even if a war breaks out, it will be difficult for me to become the main force. At present, I should improve my strength as much as possible. If I can catch up with the war before raising the infinite Tao to the extreme realm, it can also greatly increase the combat power. 1. Yi Tian thought to himself. But if immeasurable Tao wants to rise from the perfect realm to the extreme realm, this is too difficult. Even the help of Wuming Mountain is limited now. Although he can speed up his understanding of the infinite Tao, it will take a lot of years to quickly elevate the infinite Tao to the limit state in the infinite mountain. And at his level, it is extremely difficult to increase his strength by 5.9 points. It's a pity that I can no longer enter the Panchen territory of the Xuanqi territory. Otherwise, with my current strength, I will definitely be able to obtain more good things. I can even use some treasures in the Panchen territory to practice. There must be a treasure place to accelerate the understanding of the immeasurable path. However, the treasure land cannot be taken away, and now that the confluence period is over, he can only think about it. Originally, Yi Tian thought that he would not be able to enter the Xuanqi realm in a short time. But on this day, there was a change in truncated Montenegro. Click, there was a gap somewhere in truncate Montenegro. Although this gap was small, it caused a weak vibration in truncate Montenegro. And Yi Tian sensed this fluctuation immediately, and quickly locked the gap. Chapter 2290 The Real Mountain Leader. Open black lens bracket seeking full order close black lens bracket. How did the truncation of Montenegro crack open? Yi Tian came to the crack in an instant. At this time, he clearly sensed that this crack was not a simple crack, but led to an unknown place. It's not the breadth of the restricted area, this crack is not the entrance to the restricted area, it's more like. Yi Tian thought of Xuanqi territory because the aura was somewhat similar. Small convergence period. Yi Tian was enlightened. In the past, there was also a small-scale intersection period that collided with Xuanqi's territory in the restricted area, but it only appeared for a short period of time. Unexpectedly, another meeting period appeared here. From the entrance crack, it should also be a small-scale meeting period. There is an opportunity in the intersection period, go in and see. Yi Tian muttered. Just as he was about to go in, several super-strengthened objects appeared, all of which cut off the restricted area, among them Akaji. Akaji glanced at the crack, and quickly recognized the entrance of the confluence period. There is another entrance. Akaji was a little surprised. He is a little curious about where this entrance leads. If it is the same place as the Xiaoguang Gap, it will be meaningless 29, but if it is a brand new territory and contains a lot of resources, it will be valuable. Of course, Xuanqi territory is also dangerous. If you enter a very dangerous place, you will easily fall. During the meeting period of the Panchen leader, it was also the strong men of the major forces who sent a group of weak people to investigate and take the lead in testing. Your Excellency is the new ancestor of the nine-layered building, the ancestor of the endless Tao. Akaji said, not bad. Yi Tian stared at Qimu and said, you are Qimu, do you want to go in together? Akaji shook his head, I'm not going in now. Yi Tian saw that Qaimu was stunned, so he directly passed through the entrance of the crack. Seeing this, Akaji hesitated for a while, but stepped into it, otherwise he would appear too timid. He didn't believe that he would be so unlucky, and he died as soon as he entered. If you are really in danger, it's a big deal to come back. True mountain caller. Above a black ocean, a figure emerged, and it was Yi Tian. Hey, the suppression here is not big, and it is dozens of times stronger than the silent Black Sea. Yi Tian was a little surprised. He originally thought that this place would be very dangerous, and that the original ancestor Ye would be suppressed and shattered when he entered this place. Now it seems that even if the half-step eightfold original ancestor enters here, nothing will happen, and he can survive here for a long time. Judging from the rules, this is indeed the Xuanqi territory. Yi Tian secretly said. At this time, he can still sense the existence of the crack, but it is not easy to detect. He is not worried that the creatures in the Xuanqi realm will enter the silent Black Sea through the cracks, because according to repeated experiments, it has been shown that the creatures in the Xuanqi realm cannot enter the silent Black Sea during the confluence period. As for the reason, he didn't know either. Qimu also entered here, and after sensing it, he found that there was no danger here, and immediately went out again, and immediately informed the others to the enhancement level. Immediately, other to strengthen objects also came in. But in such a short time, Yi Tian had already escaped and disappeared. He will not cooperate with Akaji to explore here, and naturally leave immediately. Everywhere in the real mountains, ancient giant cities rise from the ground, and there are many creatures in each giant city. There are various races of these creatures, but many of them are mainly in human form. This kind of human race is not a human race, but a real race. The true race is similar to the human race, but there are faint scales attached to the skin, and the bloodline is extremely powerful, far from being comparable to the human race. Any true ancestor, just born, has the strength comparable to the Tao ancestor. At this time, Yi Tian silently explored the ancient giant cities and gained a little understanding of this territory. True Mountain Leader. Yi Tian probed into a small area of True Mountain Leader, and found that this time was not an ordinary meeting period. Because once the convergence period is formed, then a territory or a small area of Xuanqi territory will merge with the silent Black Sea or the original ancient sea. Then outside this territory will be isolated, and creatures from other territories in Xuanqi territory will not be able to enter here. But now, the real mountain collar does not seem to be isolated. It should have something to do with the truncation of Montenegro. This time, it is to truncate the force formed by the fissure of Montenegro. It should be a crack in time and space that forcibly tore apart the territory of Xuanqi, not a confluence period. Yi Tian thought to himself. If it wasn't for the confluence period, he might be able to stay in the real mountain. Because it is the confluence period, the crack will disappear. It is not a confluence period, so this period may always exist. In that case, he can stay in the real mountain collar, copy the creatures of the real mountain collar, and stay here disguised as a real clan. Then he can look for resources here and bring them back. My ability to copy the body, no matter how powerful and immeasurable lifeforms are, can never be found. But the other Xeon ninefold ancestors in the silent Black Sea can't do it, they will be easily discovered and then besieged by a group of infinite lifeforms. 1. Immediately, Yi Tian began to look for a suitable target for replication. He wants to find a Zhejiang Yuanzu who does not have many entanglements with outsiders, preferably few people know, so copying the other's body, it is not easy to reveal his identity. After several days of exploration, Yi Tian finally found such a 9-level ancestor. Then directly sneaked into the other party's residence, directly killed the other party, occupied the other party's residence, and then copied 220 of the other party's body, claiming to be the other party's identity. Subsequently, Yi Tian's human clone body left the true mountain territory directly. These days, he has sensed that many immeasurable beings are looking for his existence. If he hadn't relied on the exploration of copying talent, he had sensed the other party in advance, and thus silently avoided it, otherwise he would have been discovered long ago. But now, there are more and more immeasurable lifeforms looking for him, and he knows that he can't hide for long, so he can only leave first. I don't know if those guys from Shimu have been found. If they are found, I'm afraid they may not be able to escape. Yi Tian thought to himself. After all, he knows the power of the real mountain, and any ancient giant city here has the existence of countless life forms. The real mountain leads somewhere. Akagi and other 3 to strengthen the material level have been surrounded by immeasurable lifeforms. Trouble. Akagi frowned. This true mountain leader is actually stronger than the Panchen leader, and the countless lifeforms of the true mountain leader are not fighting each other, they know how to unite. So they were directly surrounded. The key is that there is no help this time. Last time, many Xeons entered the Panchen territory together, and they still take care of each other. Escape. Akagi and the other 3 reached the enhancement level and decided immediately. Chapter 2291 Infinite Body Secret Technique. Open black lens bracket seeking full order close black lens bracket. However, Akagi and the other 3 have limited strength to the enhanced rank, and although the countless lifeforms besieging them are all elementary, there are a lot of them. But Chimu and the others knew very well that if they didn't try their best, they wouldn't even think about leaving when the middle-level immeasurable beings from the real mountain leader arrived. In an instant, Akagi and the others used their trump cards to escape at all costs. Boom! Their battles spread to the surrounding territories, attracting the attention of more countless lifeforms. In an instant, Chimu managed to escape from the encirclement at the cost of heavy damage, and some immeasurable lifeforms were still chasing and killing, but Chimu soon came to the crack that cut off the Black Mountain, and escaped directly into the crack and left the real mountain collar. But the other 2 at the enhanced rank did not have such good luck, and could not escape at all. Unexpected, a middle-level immeasurable lifeform descended here, shot directly, and killed 2 to strengthen. Grandpa Jinli, Grandpa Jinli, Grandpa Jinli. One by one, the immeasurable beings of the elementary level respectfully said. Grand Ancestor Jinli nodded slightly, and immediately came to the crack that cut off the restricted area. He tried to reach out with a hand, but found a force in his way, preventing him from leaving. It comes from the world outside Xuanqi territory, and it should be weaker than our Xuanqi territory, otherwise I should be able to pass. Ancestor Jinli said. Grand Ancestor Jinli, what should we do now? Asked a rudimentary immeasurable being. Don't worry, it's just a weak world, I thought it was an intruder before. Now that I know the reason, there's no need to worry. 1. Ancestor Jinli left immediately, too lazy to pay attention to this small matter. In the Xuanqi territory, many territories have connections to the outside world, as well as some confluence periods and so on. For this situation, Xuanqi territory is ignoring it. After all, if there is a crack, a group of infinite life forms will be sent to guard, and there will be no countless life forms willing to do it. After all, this situation can't threaten Xuanqi's territory at all, and it's not good. There are even some forces that are willing to recruit countless life forms from the outside world, but they are not opposed at all. Therefore, he is too lazy to care about such things. Afterwards, other immeasurable beings also left. But if there are countless life forms from outside to cause trouble here, they will still take action. Cut off the restricted area. Akaji came back and went to heal immediately. And the news of Chimu's return could not be concealed from Yi Tian, and Yi Tian soon knew the news of the fall of the two to strengthen objects. I didn't expect two to strengthen the object level to fall. Yi Tian muttered. This time, the truncation penalty area has suffered heavy losses. However, this has nothing to do with him. Soon after, news of this crack spread. But after Yi Tian shared the information with the other Xeon 9th level ancestors in the 9-level building, those Xeon 9th level ancestors didn't want to enter the real mountain because the danger was too great. Therefore, they are still in retreat and have not participated in this matter. The same is true of other forces. Seeing that the two to strengthen the material level have fallen, and the particularity of the real mountain leader, they dare not send the Taoist ancestors in. The various races of the Panxinling occupy a territory, and they can snatch resources without any cooperation with each other. But if they dared to snatch this kind of situation, it would be troublesome. Moreover, the real mountain leader is more powerful, and also has a number of intermediate-level immeasurable life forms they do not dare to provoke. At this critical moment, if too many Xeon 9th layer ancestors are lost, the situation of the major forces in the Silent Black Sea will be in danger. Therefore, only Yi Tian actually sneaked into the real mountain area. Years go by. Yi Tian has lived in Junshanling as a true clan, and his current identity is Xuanming, the 9th order Taoist ancestor of Junshanling. Now, he already knows that the major territories of the Xuanqi territory divide the realm of Taoist ancestors before the 9-fold ancestor of the Xeon into the 9th order, which is different from the division of the Silent Black Sea. Among them, the 9-fold ancestor is called the 8th order Taoist here, and the 9th order Taoist is equivalent to the strength of the second step of the 9-fold ancestor. The division of realm is different, and the main reason is that there are differences in the cultivation system. But when you reach the realm of the original ancestor of the Xeon 9th layer, the cultivation system is not much different. Here, the original ancestor of the Xeon 9th layer is not called this, nor is it called to strengthen the level, but it is called the Great Ancestor. The first order immeasurable life forms and the intermediate order immeasurable life forms are called the Great Ancestors. As for the high order immeasurable life forms, there is no such existence in the real mountain region. According to Yi Tian's goal, there are 18 middle-level immeasurable beings and thousands of first-order immeasurable beings in the real mountain leader. There are also countless life forms that have gone to other territories to seek further development. Otherwise, there will be more countless life forms in the real mountain. A real mountain territory alone is enough to sweep across the Silent Black Sea, not to mention that the real mountain territory is only one of the many territories in the Xuanqi territory. The strength of the Xuanqi territory is too terrifying, far surpassing the Silent Black Sea. Yi Tian muttered. However, it is because Xuanqi territory is so powerful that it will have more opportunities. In the following days, Yi Tian began to harden this body, and after a period of time, he began to attack the first-order infinite life body. The potential of this body is great, and Yi Tian has bestowed countless ancestral gifts, so it was easy to break through. This cloned body of the true race has also broken through to become a first-order immeasurable life form, and it is also a top powerhouse in the real mountain area. Next, you have to use this cloned body to obtain resources from the real mountain area. Yi Tian muttered. Fortunately, the body he copied came from the True Clan, and the True Clan was very powerful in the True Mountain region and was the largest clan, so this identity was not bad. After breaking through and becoming an immeasurable first-order life form, the name of Xuanming began to spread throughout the real mountain. And Yi Tian is also trying to make friends with countless great ancestors, so that he can hope to get more opportunities. Shen. This day, Yi Tian learned something that surprised him extremely, that is the immeasurable body. The immeasurable beings in the Xuanqi realm have created a variety of immeasurable body secret techniques, which can be cultivated into incomparably powerful immeasurable bodies. Certainly, the infinite body secret technique is very precious. Many elementary level immeasurable beings do not have this kind of secret technique, and only a few elementary level immeasurable beings possess this kind of secret technique. Of course, even if the secret technique is obtained, it is difficult to practice it. But once it is practiced, the combat power will crush the same rank, and even the top first-order immeasurable lifeforms will leapfrog the general middle-rank immeasurable lifeforms. Be sure to obtain this boundless body secret technique. Yi Tian secretly said. Chapter 2292 Superior and Immeasurable Body Secrets. Open black lens bracket seeking full order close black lens bracket. There is a big difference between having the infinite body secret technique and not having the infinite body secret technique, and Yi Tian naturally hopes that he has a stronger combat power. And Yi Tian learned that in the real mountain area, there is an infinite body secret technique in one place. This place is really fogless. The Sea of True Wu Wu used to be the territory of a middle-level immeasurable being, and that middle-rank immeasurable being was named Great Ancestor Yuhei. This Great Ancestor Yuhei is very enchanting. He used to fight against a high-level immeasurable being with a middle-rank immeasurable being. It's just that a long time ago, the Great Ancestor of Yuhei encountered a fatal crisis and dragged his body back to the Sea of True Fog, and the endless years passed without recovering the injury, but it became more and more serious. Before dying, the Great Ancestor of Yuhei put many of his heritage in the Sea of True Wu Wu to repay the creatures of the True Mountain territory. No matter what race you are, you can enter the Fogless Sea. Even those Taoist ancestors can enter here, as long as they are enchanting enough, they can get certain benefits. Similarly, if countless lifeforms enter, they can also obtain certain resources. It's just that for a long time, countless lifeforms have entered the real fog-free sea, resulting in fewer and fewer precious resources left by the Great Ancestor Yuhei, and the resources that are useful to the countless lifeforms are close to none. However, the immeasurable body secret technique still exists. This immeasurable body secret technique can not only be inherited by one person, but can be engraved again and again. It's just that if the number of inscriptions is too many, the inheritance of the infinite body secret art will disappear. At present, the infinite body secret technique still exists. Really fog-free, it is located in the southwest of Junshan district. Soon, Yi Tian came here. It is difficult for the infinite will to penetrate the distance, the strange place. 1. Yi Tian was slightly surprised. In the silent Black Sea, there is almost no place to suppress the boundless will of the first-order immeasurable beings, not to mention that his boundless will surpasses the boundless will of ordinary first-order immeasurable beings. Even so, his boundless will was still severely suppressed. Wow! Yi Tian entered the fog-free sea without the slightest hesitation. As soon as he entered the fog-free sea, the surrounding fog seemed to transform into a special force. The more he resisted, the slower he moved. That is to say, the slower the flight speed here, the less suppressed it is. If you want to travel through time and space and teleport in this CJFJ, I am afraid that you will be crushed in an instant. According to the information, the inheritance left by the Great Ancestor Yuhei is located in the core area of the True Wu Wu Sea, where there is a True Wu Wu Tower. Yi Tian immediately went to the Mistless Tower. Not long after, a magnificent fog tower appeared in Yi Tian's perception, and he stood directly in front of the fog-free tower. This fog-free tower takes the origin of the entire fog-free sea as the core energy. If you want to break the fog-free tower, you cannot do it without the strength of high-level infinite life forms. There is also an artifact spirit in the Mistless Pagoda to manage this misty tower. Yi Tian saw this artifact spirit as soon as he entered the Mistless Pagoda. Respected Great Ancestor, this is the first time you have entered the True Mist Tower, and you only need to pass an assessment to get the reward left by the Master. The fog-free tower spirit respectfully said. Then let's test. Yi Tian said casually. Respected Great Ancestor, please follow me. The tool spirit brought Yi Tian into a magnificent hall, and soon an ancient stone tablet appeared. This is one of the monuments left by the Master. You need to understand this ancient monument within the first year of the 1,000 worlds, and decompose the 1,000 kinds of secret techniques on the monument. At least 999, if there are less than one, it is a failure. Artifact said. Decomposition secret art. Yi Tian was a little curious about this kind of assessment, it was the first time he encountered this kind of assessment. Later, he comprehended this ancient stone tablet here. Soon, he understood the mystery of this ancient stone tablet. The 1,000 kinds of secret techniques here are fused together in a special way. Each secret technique is the use and combination of immeasurable ways. The combination of many secret techniques looks extremely chaotic. It is not difficult to decipher hundreds of secret techniques from this stone tablet, but once the parsing is wrong, it will be wrong later. If you want to parse out 1,000 kinds of secret techniques, you must make no mistakes at all. Therefore, such an examination is very difficult. This not only considers the application and understanding of the immeasurable way, but also tests the understanding. In summary, there is no shortcoming, and there is hope to analyze 1,000 kinds of secret techniques. Fortunately, the time is still sufficient, and there is 1,000 years in the first year, so there are opportunities for trial and error. The first year of the world is the time unit of the Xuanqi realm, and the first year of one world is equivalent to 100 million years of the original era. Therefore, the first year of 1,000 realms is equivalent to 100 billion years of the original era. It's been a long time. I'm not worried at all about comprehension. This kind of assessment is not difficult for me. Yi Tian secretly said. Subsequently, he began to deduce analysis again and again. He parsed out all kinds of secret techniques. For the first time, only 986 secret techniques were parsed, and the rest could not be parsed out. This way of parsing is obviously wrong. So, he started the second attempt, this kind of solution of 99 kinds of secret techniques. Then, he started the third analysis. Time passed slowly. Yi Tian finally resolved 999 secret techniques after repeated attempts. But there is still enough time, so he did not choose to submit the assessment but continued to analyze. In the end, Yi Tian only spent the first year of the 86 worlds successfully analyzing 1,000 secret techniques. Tool Spirit, I parsed it out. Immediately, Yi Tian handed over 1,000 secret techniques to the artifact spirit. After reading the Tool Spirit, he said, "Respected Great Ancestor, congratulations on your successful assessment. Since the rewards for resources suitable for immeasurable life forms have been completed, you can choose other lower-level resources, or you can choose the secret technique of immeasurable body." "I choose the infinite body secret technique," Yi Tian said. "Okay," Qi Ling said. "There are totally 6 immeasurable body secrets in the Mistless Tower, including 1 superior immeasurable body secret, 3 middle-bound immeasurable body secrets, and 2 inferior immeasurable body secrets. Art, this is the introduction of the 6 boundless body secret art, you can take a look." Wow, 6 boundless body secret techniques were presented in front of Yi Tian, allowing him to choose one. Yi Tian took a look. Among them, the superior immeasurable body secret technique is the best, but the cultivation is the most difficult, while the inferior immeasurable body secret technique is easier to practice. If it is other elementary level immeasurable life forms, it is not necessary to choose the superior immeasurable body secret technique, because if it cannot be practiced, it is a waste of secret techniques, and it is useless. Therefore, they would rather choose the inferior and immeasurable body secret technique that suits them. But Yi Tian did not hesitate at all, and directly chose this excellent and immeasurable body secret technique. Chapter 2293 Integrate the ability of all things. Open black lens bracket seeking full order close black lens bracket. This high-quality immeasurable body secret technique is called the infinite body. The body of Wuji, the great ancestor of Yuhei, should not have practiced this body of Wuji. According to rumors, the great ancestor of Yuhei practiced the mysterious body secret technique called body of Yuhei, which is a middle class infinite body secret art. Yi Tian muttered. But this time, he has never seen the body of Yuhei, presumably this secret technique has not been passed down. After obtaining the promised body, Yi Tian left the Mistless Tower. Although a Taoist ancestor has entered the Mistless Tower more than once, the second entry needs to be after the first year of hundreds of thousands of realms, and the second time the reward is not much, almost negligible. Therefore, ordinary Taoist ancestors would not come for the second time, let alone Yi Tian. After returning, Yi Tian began to study the boundless body secret technique of the infinite body. Sure enough, it is very difficult to train. Not only is it extremely mysterious, but the body of the infinite also needs specific resources. The promised body requires 4 materials: shadowless crystal, mist water stone, fire spirit god gold, and empty shadow water. But it is just hope, the success rate of training is still very low. The 4 resources, shadowless crystal, mist water stone, fire spirit gold, and empty shadow water, are extremely precious, and the number is too small, and one resource must be consumed once a failure occurs. It is conceivable that how many resources have to be consumed in order to have hope of practicing. If I didn't upgrade my copy talent, it would be really difficult for me to obtain these kinds of resources, but now it's not difficult. Yi Tian secretly said. Now that his copying talent has been upgraded, not only can he copy countless ancestral gifts, but he also has one more ability, that is, fusion of all things. This is also one of the abilities he discovered a long time ago. He could copy everything before, but now he can fuse everything. For example, he can fuse a bunch of ordinary materials into more advanced materials. For example, the shadowless crystal is the high-grade material of shadow crystal. In the shadow crystal ore vein, there is a very low chance that shadowless crystal will be born. That is to say, if enough shadow crystals are collected and fused continuously, there is hope to fuse the shadowless crystals. Shadowless crystals are hard to collect, but shadow crystals are easy to collect. Among the materials of shadowless crystal, mist water stone, fire spirit god gold, and empty shadow water, there is only one material that seems to be unable to be merged, and that is mist water stone. Yi Tian has not found any low-level material of the same attribute of the misty water stone, nor can he find a substitute, so he must find the misty water stone. However, there is still hope that Yi Tian can collect the material of misty water stone, and the difficulty is greatly reduced. Afterwards, Yi Tian began to collect a large amount of shadow crystal, fire spirit gold, and ethereal water. These three resources are not difficult to collect, and as long as they are continuously fused, they can form the three materials that they need. Of course, Yi Tian was also collecting misty water stones. It's just that the misty water stone is not so easy to collect, so he plans to take the lead in fusing the other three materials. Junshin led some forces to sell shadow crystals, so Yi Tian collected enough shadow crystals in a short period of time. Then, he began to fuse these shadow crystals. Fusion. Shadow crystals began to fuse under the fusion ability of the copy talent. With the fusion of countless shadow crystals, the quality of shadow crystals is also constantly improving, and gradually begins to change. Until Yi Tian fused millions of shadow crystals, an illusory spar appeared. It seems to be in a dream, and it seems invisible, but it can be observed with the naked eye, but it is difficult to touch. Shadowless crystal, it really fused, Yi Tian said excitedly. With this fusion function, he can get a lot of precious resources. Certainly, many materials are unique and cannot be fused at all, just like resources such as misty water stone and eternal flint, which cannot be fused. Only a small number of ore resources exist, and there are low-level resources, which can be integrated into higher-level resources. And many of the resources that are suitable for the infinite elementary life form are almost unique, so Yi Tian has no way to integrate them. This time, 3 of the 4 resources to assist in the cultivation of the promised body can be merged. This is indeed Yi Tian's very good luck. As time passed, Yi Tian fused the shadowless crystals. However, since the number of shadow crystals is endless, after Yi Tian fused dozens of shadowless crystals, he could not acquire enough shadow crystals from Junshin in a short period of time. And at this time, Yi Tian also received enough fire spirit gold, and began to fuse these fire spirit gold to form fire spirit god gold. In the end, he fused 10 pieces of fire spirit gold. For flowers, then, he began to fuse those ethereal waters, consuming a large amount of ethereal waters, and this formed 6 parts of ethereal waters. This day, Misty Waterstone finally has news. True Mountain Leader, Juwu Ancient City. This is an ancient city built by the Ancient Blood Clan. Although the Ancient Blood Clan is weaker than the real clan, its strength is also very strong. And this time, Yi Tian obtained a piece of information from a deputy city lord of the ancient city of Juwu, and one of the ancient blood race's first-order immeasurable beings, who possessed a misty water stone on his body. So, Yi Tian immediately came to the ancient city of Juwu. Soon, Yi Tian saw this first-order immeasurable being the great ancestor Zhang Jun. 0. I have seen the great ancestor Zhang Jun. Yi Tian said very politely. This is the first time I have seen this great ancestor, but his aura is very strong, and his cultivation base is already very close to the middle level boundless. Ancestor Zhang Jun is definitely the most top-notch elementary level immeasurable life form. In terms of strength, Yi Tian felt that he should not be the opponent of Zhang Jun Dazu. Ancestor Xuanming, do you want to trade the misty water stone on me? Ancestor Zhang Jun asked. Yes, Yi Tian replied. Zhang Jun smiled and said, Ancestor Xuanming, do you want to cultivate the promised body? Yes. 1. Yi Tian nodded. The primary immeasurable life forms of the real mountain collar and the collection of misty water stones are almost all for the purpose of cultivating the infinite body. Therefore, no one can guess. Ancestor Zhang Jun said. Ancestor Xuanming, if the body of Wuji is not so easy to cultivate, I have collected a total of 18 materials and practiced it 18 times, but all failed. Body, it's too difficult. I want to try it. Yi Tian said. It's not impossible if you want to trade misty water stone. I need shadowless crystal, fire spirit gold, and empty shadow water. If you have 3 materials and are redundant, I can trade with you. Zhang Jun Dazu said this. Yi Tian believes that Zhang Jun Dazu is afraid that there are many misty water stones on his body, so there is no shortage of this material but the other 3 materials. This is the best news for him. Corpse. Chapter 2294 The Infinite and Infinite Body. Open black lens bracket seeking full order close black lens bracket. Grand Ancestor Zhang Jun, I am willing to trade your shadowless crystals for your misty water stone, one piece for another, how about it? Yi Tian made comments. Ancestor Xuanming, do you have the crystal of shadowless? Ancestor Zhang Jun was a little surprised. He didn't expect that Yi Tian, the great ancestor who had just made a breakthrough, didn't seem to have been to any other territory, and his life trajectory was all in the real mountain territory. You can also get the shadowless crystal, and even willing to trade it out. Then, this shows that Yi Tian has more than one shadowless crystal. If there is only one, Yi Tian is absolutely impossible to trade. It is good. Ancestor Zhang Jun agreed. Immediately, Yi Tian made a deal with Zhang Jun Dazu. Yi Tian got a misty water stone, and Zhang Jun Dazu got a shadowless crystal. Both sides are very satisfied. It is considered that I have collected all 4 resources in 220, although there is only one misty water stone, but if I only use one to train the shadowless crystal, then I don't need to trade the misty water stone. Yi Tian did not immediately practice the infinite body, but was slowly comprehending this boundless body secret technique. After all, the promise body secret technique itself is very mysterious. If it is not thoroughly understood, there is no way to practice it. Collecting more resources is a waste of resources. And once the practice fails, it will even cause physical damage, and it will take a long time to recover. In the blink of an eye, a long time passed. The promise body secret technique is fully understood, and the next step is to practice. Yi Tian muttered, any kind of infinite body secret technique will suffer a certain amount of damage if he fails to practice it, but after he comprehends the infinite body, he finds that once this infinite body secret technique fails to be cultivated, the damage will be great, and it will directly cause the level of life to drop. Only 1 or 2 failures in cultivation, the impact is not considered, but once the number of failures is too many, it will even cause defects in the level of life, making it difficult to break through to the level of the middle-level infinite life body. The great ancestor Zhang Jun has failed so many times, and his hope of becoming an intermediate-level immeasurable being should be very low. However, he did not remind me of this. No, many great ancestors did not mention this. I guess I also hope that the other great ancestors will fail in their cultivation, and then they will not be able to break through. 1. Yi Tian muttered. After all, this is also normal. If I can't break through, I naturally hope that other great ancestors can't break through, so that my mood will be better. Of course, once you have mastered the superior infinite body secret technique like the infinite body, your strength will increase too much. Therefore, there are still many elementary level immeasurable beings who are willing to try to practice the infinite body, or some elementary level immeasurable beings who have no hope of breaking through, will also try to practice such immeasurable body secret techniques. However, Yi Tian is not worried about the physical damage caused by the failure of the breakthrough. After all, he can change and copy the body at any time. Truncated Montenegro. It's back. 1. At the entrance of the crack, Yi Tian received his cloned body, accepted the misty water stone and several other resources from the real mountain caller, and then returned to the truncated Xuanlu and began to try to cultivate the body of the infinite. I saw Yi Tian put the 4 materials around, and then began to absorb the power of the 4 materials to practice with the promise body secret technique. Time passed slowly, and Yi Tian's immeasurable body of life began to change. The aura on his body continued to improve, and it seemed that his strength was rapidly improving. However, at a certain moment, Yi Tian's body shattered directly, but soon recovered. Failed. Yi Tian frowned. He knew that he had maintained absolute control, but there were too many changes in the practice process, so a momentary negligence caused the practice to fail. And he can still detect a fissure inside the body. This fissure seems to be born inside the infinite life body, as if it is a part of the infinite life body. Temporarily unrecoverable. Yi Tian simply annihilated this cloned body directly, and then re-replicated a new cloned body, so that the body damage does not exist. You still have to collect the misty water stone. Yi Tian thought to himself. So, he asked Zhang Jun Dazu to make a deal again. The other party agreed directly, and traded Yi Tian a misty water stone again. After Yi Tian left, Ancestor Zhang Jun murmured, it seems that this great ancestor Xuanming has failed in his practice of the infinity body. The other party has not given up, and he still wants to continue to practice the infinity body. This is not a good thing. Ah, I have no way to go back. I must succeed in my cultivation, then I can hope to get rid of the hidden dangers of my body, and then break through to the level of an immeasurable intermediate life form. It's a pity that he still lacks the water of empty shadow, and only when he gathers a copy of the water of empty shadow, can he continue to practice the body of infinity. Another period passed. This time, Yi Tian failed to cultivate the promised body again. However, instead of continuing to trade misty water stones with Zhang Jun's great ancestor, he was looking for another elementary infinite life form to trade misty water stones. This first-order immeasurable being is not the great ancestor of the true mountain territory, but a great ancestor of the neighboring territory, the blood territory. The reason why Yi Tian was going to trade with the great ancestor of the blood domain was because he didn't want to expose too much. If he traded with Zhang Jun Dazu again and again, it would be very strange why he suddenly had so many shadowless crystals on his body. Therefore, he did not want to trade with the same great ancestor. It didn't take long for Yi Tian to see the great ancestor of the blood domain, the great ancestor of the Black Eagle. However, what the Black Eagle great ancestor needed was not the shadowless crystal, but the water of empty shadow, and Yi Tian also took out a copy of the water of empty shadow and successfully traded it to the misty water stone. In the days that followed, Yi Tian used the fire spirit god gold, the water of empty shadow, and the crystal of shadowless to trade with the great ancestors who had misty water stones in his hands, so he didn't lack misty water stones at all. Yi Tian knew that so many great ancestors had missed 5.9 water stones in their hands. It should be somewhere in Xuanqi territory that was rich in mist water stones, so many great ancestors grabbed them. However, he is too lazy to investigate, he only needs to trade, which is more convenient, and the cost is not high anyway. Yi Tian finally succeeded in cultivating the promised body for the 8th time. Cut off the Xuanlu. Yi Tian's body is constantly changing, the infinite life body is constantly becoming stronger, and the flesh body has formed a special state, which is called the infinite body state. At this moment, the body of his quantity is the body of infinite, the body of superior quantity. And his strength has soared dozens of times. At this moment, his strength has completely crushed those elementary level immeasurable beings. Chapter 2295 Infinite Profound Walls. Open black lens bracket full order close black lens bracket. Success, I finally practiced the body of infinite. Yi Tian said excitedly, the superior immeasurable body is far from being comparable to the inferior immeasurable body, not to mention the first order immeasurable beings who do not even have the mystic skills of the immeasurable body, they are far inferior to Yi Tian. Afterwards, Yi Tian was ready to test his combat power. However, at his level, it's not easy to find a first-order immeasurable life form that is comparable to his own strength. If it is too weak, there is no need to test his combat power. The Zhuzan Dao ancestor of Zhouzhonglo may still be able to fight him for a trick or two, but the Zhuzan Dao ancestor is still practicing in seclusion, so he will not disturb the Zhuzan Dao ancestor. Buy a piece of infinite profound wall. Yi Tian had such an idea. The infinite profound wall is a magical treasure in the Xuanqi territory. It is made of infinite profound stones. This treasure can absorb power and present a specific combat power standard. Even a middle-level immeasurable life form cannot destroy the immeasurable profound wall. Since the infinite profound stone is very rare, the value of the infinite profound wall is very high. However, Yi Tian was rich, and the big deal was to sell a few more shadowless crystals, so he bought a piece of 29 infinite profound walls from the Junshan city led by Junshan. Afterwards, he brought this immeasurable profound wall into a space-time inside his residence, suppressing the entire space-time. The boundless profound wall divides the attack power of the infinite life forms into a standard. The pure basic attack power of the weakest infinite life forms is 1 point of infinity scale. When you cultivate to the limit of the initial infinite life forms, the basic attack power will increase to 2 at most. Point infinite scale. Yi Tian tried it out immediately. He did not use any infinite control skills, nor did he activate the body of infinite, but just attack the infinite profound wall with his pure basic attack power. Boom! The attack that could shatter endless time and space and boundless territory fell on the boundless profound wall, but was absorbed by the small boundless profound wall, causing only a slight shock. I saw a flash of light on the immeasurable profound wall, and a number appeared on it -1.8. This means that Yi Tian's basic attack power has reached the 1.8 scale, which is already a very high attack power. After all, Yi Tian has only broken through to the first-order immeasurable life form, and his cultivation base is far from reaching the first-order immeasurable life form, the limit. Try the infinite control technique that drives the great perfection endless golden spear. Yi Tian condensed the endless golden spear and stabbed it on the limitless profound wall. A number emerged. 90. This means that the boosting effect of the Great Perfection Grade Boundless Control technique is 50 times, which directly increases his attack power to 90 scale. After all, his own strength is already incomparably powerful, and it is quite good to have such an increase in the Great Perfection level Boundless Control skill. Afterwards, he activated the other immeasurable control skills one by one. The limit of the immeasurable path of the perfection level was activated, and the treasures on his body were also activated one by one. At this time, he once again used the endless golden spear to poke at the immeasurable profound wall. Another number emerged. 120. This number is higher than the previous number, but the improvement is not large. Obviously, the attack has reached this level, and the increase effect of many things will not work. If my infinite Tao can be raised to the limit state, and then master the supreme infinite Tao control technique, then the attack level will definitely skyrocket. Yi Tian muttered. According to his investigation, the attacks of those top-level infinity life-form ancestors were just over 100, and the powerful ones could reach an attack power of over 200 scales. The worst intermediate level and initial level immeasurable lifeforms can exert an attack power of 500 ticks, and the slightly stronger intermediate level immeasurable life forms have an attack power of more than thousands of ticks. Try my infinite body. Yi Tian did not use the boundless Tao control technique of the endless golden spear first, and only used the basic combat power and the infinite power to attack. Boom! A number emerged. 360. This is a full 360 scale attack power, and his basic combat power is only 1.8 scale, which means that his attack has increased his basic combat power by 200 times. Afterwards, he used the body of promise, used other means, and then used the endless golden spear. In an instant, a number appeared on the immeasurable profound wall -2400. This time I just increased my combat power from 120 to 2400, only 20 times. Yi Tian muttered. The higher the attack power, the smaller the multiplier will naturally be. If he increased the original highest peak combat power by 200 times, it would be abnormal. The combination of different means has different multipliers. However, his strongest attack power now is 2400 scale, which has already surpassed the 500 scale standard of the worst intermediate level immeasurable life form, which is comparable to the average intermediate level immeasurable life form. Moreover, he still has room for improvement at the level of the elementary infinite life form, and when his cultivation is improved, his basic combat power can also be improved. If there is a breakthrough of infinite Tao, there will be even greater breakthroughs in strength. Although it is only a test of attack power, it also shows that my current strength has surpassed those weaker intermediate level immeasurable life forms. Yi Tian thought excitedly. With his current strength, he would be almost invincible in the silent Black Sea. However, in the Xuanqi realm, his strength is not worth mentioning. For example, those intermediate level immeasurable 220 life forms who have practiced the immeasurable body secret technique can crush him casually, and he is not qualified to be arrogant. In the days that followed, Yi Tian began to use the ability to fuse all things to synthesize precious materials, and traded resources from other great ancestors that could improve his cultivation and life level. With his current strength, he is not worried that the great ancestor would dare to covet him. As a result, he collected a lot of resources in a short period of time. Although there is no great ancestor willing to trade those really incomparably rare resources, but relying on massive resources, he can still quickly improve his own cultivation and life level. Gradually, Yi Tian's cultivation became higher and higher, and his basic combat power became stronger and stronger, causing his own combat power to soar wildly. I have to find a treasure land to practice the infinite Tao. If I can comprehend the infinite Tao and practice it to the limit as soon as possible, my strength will skyrocket. 1. Yi Tian muttered. And there are more than one such treasures in the real mountain area, but they are all occupied by powerful forces and will not be cultivated for other great ancestors. In addition, these treasures are similar to those in the Black Sea of Silence, even if they are more advanced, but they are generally helpful to him now. And on this day, he really inquired a little bit of information. Chapter 2296 Wusho Jinshan. Open black lens bracket seeking full order close black lens bracket. True mountain leader, Wusho Jinshan. Yi Tian learned the information from a first-level great ancestor. In a forbidden area in the real mountain range, there is an unstained golden mountain. If you practice on the unstained golden mountain, you will realize the immeasurable path very quickly, and it will even be of great use to the perfection level immeasurable path. It's just that the forbidden area is very dangerous, even the entry of the first level ancestors is dangerous. As for the Wusho Jinshan, it only appears once in a long time. Strictly speaking, Wugu Jinshan does not belong to the real mountain region, but belongs to the intersection of the real mountain region in a mysterious place, but the place where the intersection happens to be in Wugu Jinshan. No one knows where that place is. Even if he wanted to stay in the Wugu Jinshan forcibly, he would be forcibly moved out if he didn't leave after the deadline. This special rule made it impossible for the ancestors to practice in the pure gold mountain all the time. However, whenever Wusho Jinshan appeared, there were still many great ancestors in the past. After all, it is a good chance to be able to comprehend for a while. According to the rules, Wugu Jinshan will appear in the first year of the 3000 realms. Wugu Jinshan is a good opportunity, so the great ancestors of other territories also want to enter Wugu Jinshan, but the great ancestors of the real mountain region are also very united. Therefore, the great ancestors of other territories could not enter at all, and if they dared to forcefully enter here, they would be repelled. In addition, the cultivation time in the Wusho Jinshan was not long enough, so the other great ancestors were not willing to take the risk of offending the great ancestors of the true mountain leader. Therefore, only the great ancestors of the true mountain leader are eligible to enter the Wusho Jinshan. The first year of the 3000 worlds is not too long. Yi Tian quietly waited for the first year of the 3000 worlds to pass. And during this time, he didn't waste it, and he was also cultivating to improve his own cultivation. Although it couldn't improve by much, it was as much as he could improve. In the blink of an eye, the first year of the 3000 worlds passed. This day, a great ancestor set off and headed to Wusho Jinshan. The forbidden area where Wusho Jinshan is located is called the Watermark Forbidden Area. This forbidden area is very dangerous, so the weaker ancestors all go together. Otherwise, if they go alone, they will encounter a crisis and die if they are not careful. The so-called crisis is some natural killing formations and some special and strange forces born in the forbidden area itself, and these forces can threaten the innumerable primary life forms. However, Yi Tian went alone. After all, with his strength, he was naturally not afraid of the danger of water marks. Yi Tian entered the forbidden area of water marks, like an ordinary person who fell into the water and walked with difficulty, and his actions were hindered. But for Yi Tian, this is nothing, it's just that the speed and movement are affected a little, but for the general great ancestor, it is very uncomfortable. Unexpected, a trace of water came across in an instant, and this trace of water seemed to cut everything, even the body of the great ancestor. However, this water mark cut Yi Tian's body, but did not even cut open the skin. It was Yi Tian who motivated the body of Wu Ji, so this water mark couldn't help him. Of course, if he dodged, he could dodge, but there was no need for that. Not long after, Yi Tian crossed half of the forbidden area of water marks and came to a place. Here, an illusory golden mountain appears. This is the unsullied golden mountain. Yi Tian passed through the barrier of time and space and entered the interior of this golden mountain. At this time, the other great ancestors also arrived one by one. Afterwards, the great ancestors practiced and realized the immeasurable path here, without interfering with each other. Wugu Jinshan is not too big, and the areas were quickly divided up by these great ancestors. In the entire Wugu Jinshan, there are only these great ancestors. The creatures of the world where Wugu Jinshan was originally located have not appeared here, and even whether there are creatures in the area over there is unknown. However, these great ancestors don't care about these issues, they just want to comprehend the infinite Tao here, and strive to raise the infinite Tao to the limit. At this time, Yi Tian is also concentrating on comprehending the infinite Tao. The effect of Wusho Jinshan is too good, Yi Tian said in surprise. He now clearly senses that his infinite Tao is improving rapidly, and at this speed, he even has the hope of raising the infinite Tao to the limit in a short period of time. Of course, the reason why he has such a terrifying speed of enlightenment is because he has copied a lot of immeasurable ancestors and a large number of Yuandao ancestors, so his own potential talent is too high, and his understanding is also terrifying. Therefore, it is naturally very easy for him to comprehend the immeasurable Tao, and the efficiency of comprehension and improvement is also incomparable to other great ancestors. Time passed slowly, Yi Tian's immeasurable path progressed rapidly, getting closer and closer to the limit realm. However, on this day, Yi Tian and the other great ancestors were directly expelled from the Wugu Jinshan. It's a pity, if I comprehend and practice for a while, I should be able to raise the limitless path to the limit, and now I'm still a little short of the limit. Yi Tian secretly said. However, he didn't think too much about it. Even if there is no Wusho Jinshan, if he cultivates for a while, he will still be able to raise the infinite Tao to the limit. The original ancient sea. At this time, a period of time has passed since the end of the confluence period, and each tribe's super strengthened object level is also fully impacting the middle level immeasurable life forms. This day, the Wu of the Taiwu tribe is attacking the immeasurable intermediate level life forms, and is about to break through successfully. At this time, countless original antiquities have been gathered here, just for Hachi Wu. Unexpected. Boom. A terrifying aura came out from the Taiwu tribe, and even those from the Taiwu tribe even felt the suffocating power. Wu broke through. Several people who reached the enhanced material level were extremely shocked, and they were overjoyed immediately. This is the first intermediate level immeasurable life form in the original ancient sea. With Wu's breakthrough, the Taiwu tribe is about to become the strongest tribe in the original ancient sea, and it will completely crush the 9 original ancestors of the Black Sea. The era of the Taiwu tribe has come. Soon, Wu left Shen. Wu, have you broken through? One of the reinforcements asked. Breakthrough, although I haven't completely stabilized the realm, but I am indeed a middle-level infinite life form. Wu said excitedly. Wu, why did you leave without a stable state? Asked another to strengthen the object. The realm is unstable. The silent Black Sea and those Zeons that cut off the restricted area may give birth to an immeasurable intermediate life form at any time. Therefore, I must take the opportunity to lead the entire original ancient sea to invade the silent Black Sea and completely defeat the silent Black Sea, those forces. Wu said. Right, several people up to the level of reinforcement have repeatedly endorsed this plan. Afterwards, they began to inform other tribes of the highest level of enhancement, and immediately came to Taiwu tribe to discuss the plan. Chapter 2297 Invade the Silent Black Sea. Open black lens bracket full order close black lens bracket. Taiwu tribe. Dozens of people from the enhanced level gathered here, looking at Wu with envy. They also want to become a middle-level immeasurable life form, and they are constantly working hard, but Wu broke through first. In terms of strength, the previous Wu was not the first to strengthen the original ancient sea, but now there is no dispute, Wu is already a middle-level immeasurable life form, and is naturally the most powerful one to strengthen. Seeing that the major tribes are almost at the enhanced level, Wu said, Everyone, I have now broken through to the level of the intermediate level immeasurable life form, and it is time for us to invade the silent Black Sea. Otherwise, the silent Black Sea will also give birth to the middle order. Infinite life forms, then we can't do anything about them. Yes, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The silent Black Sea has a vast territory. Although the resources are not rich, there are many good places. If we capture the entire silent Black Sea, the entire silent Black Sea will also belong to the tribes of our original ancient sea. When the time comes, by the way, those super-enhanced objects that cut off the restricted area are also destroyed. Said one of the super-enhanced objects. Then it's settled, you gather all the clansmen and the primitive relics under your command, I will open the passage, and everyone will invade the silent Black Sea together. Wu said. 220, Zhouzhong Building. One by one, the original ancestors of the 9-layered superpower have left the customs, because they got the news that the original ancient sea has given birth to a super-strengthened object, and is about to invade the silent Black Sea. Under such circumstances, how could they still have the heart to retreat? And even Zhu Zandao ancestor has left. Jushuan Daozu, that guy Wu has broken through to the realm of intermediate level infinite life forms, and his strength has improved too much, what should we do now? Dongchen Daozu frowned. Zhu Zandao ancestor sighed. Although I have recovered from my injuries, there is also hope that I will break through to the realm of intermediate level immeasurable beings, but it is too late. If you give me hundreds of trillions of years of the original era, I have a 70% chance of breaking through, but the original Ji can't possibly give us so long now. You can only unite with the original ancestors of the Zeon 9th layer of other forces. Together, you may be able to fight against the Wu, said Beiyu Daozu. Danghai Daozu shook his head, it's useless, even if they are united, but if you want to deal with Wu, you need to combine 7 or 8 elementary level immeasurable lifeforms at the level of Zhuzan Daozu to be able to compete with 1 or 2, but it won't last long. But even if we hold on to Wu, how can we fight against it? If you don't unite to truncate those to strengthen the level of the restricted area, maybe there is a little hope that you can withstand it. Shanfeng Daozu suggested. That's the only way, it has to be fast, you have to go to the old soul who cut off the restricted area to discuss. Jushuan Daozu said. Immediately, Daozu Dongchen personally went to the cut-off restricted area to contact Sol Lao and others to the enhancement level. Soon, those who truncate the forbidden area to the reinforcement level knew, but they had different opinions. Thus, they began to quarrel. Some high-level enhancements headed by Akaji did not agree with the original ancestors of the 9-layered Zeons that cut off the restricted area, and chose to stay on the sidelines. However, Old Soul agreed with the alliance. After all, once the Silent Black Sea was defeated, they would likely be invaded. Old Soul, we occupy a natural treasure such as the cut-off restricted area. If we are trapped here, the immeasurable intermediate-level life forms will not be able to help us. When an intermediate-level immeasurable life form is born among us, there is no need to be afraid of Wu-Wu. Now, there is no need to take risks. If you go out to fight the original ancient sea now, how many will you have to die to the enhancement level? That's right, Sol Lao, we are also walking the way to strengthen the material level. It is the same road as the original ancient sea, but it is different from the Silent Black Sea. Even if we want to help, we have to help the original ancient sea, why help the Silent Black Sea? After some discussion, most of the restricted area to the enhanced level did not agree to aid those Zeon 9-layered ancestors who were in the Silent Black Sea. Seeing this, Old Soul also chose to give up. After all, if the other super-enhanced objects are unwilling to go, he will be in danger if he brings CJFJ, a few super-enhanced objects, and it is very likely that they will all die. In that case, it is better to be trapped in the truncation penalty area. In this way, the truncated restricted area refused to aid the Silent Black Sea. Dongchen Daozu came back and informed Jushuan Daozu about their attitude towards cutting off the restricted area. They don't want to help. Dongchen Road is the ancestral way. It's too selfish to truncate the penalty area. Jushuan Daozu was furious. But cutting off the restricted area doesn't help, and they can't force them, otherwise there will be one more enemy. Afterwards, Shadao Mountain, Demon Sea, Weiji, and God Blood Sect Zeon 9th level ancestors also contacted Zhouzhanglo. Everyone could only join forces, and then summoned countless Taoist ancestors to prepare to fight. Apart from that, there is no other way. Cut off the Xuanlu. The original ancient sea is going to invade the Silent Black Sea, they are going to die. Yi Tian muttered. The other Zeon 9th layer ancestors in the 9-story building were panicked, but he was very calm. Even if Wu-Wu breaks through to become a middle-level immeasurable life form, it is estimated that even the realm is not stable. Such a middle-order immeasurable life body is not powerful. Moreover, according to the information he knew, Wu-Wu was not strong before his breakthrough, so he was just an ordinary middle-level immeasurable life form. According to the attack standard, Wu-Wu's current attack power has reached at most 7 or 800 immeasurable scales, and his current immeasurable scale has reached the level of close to 3,000 immeasurable scales. The gap between the 7 or 800 immeasurable scales and the 3,000 immeasurable scales is huge, and he is enough to crush Wu-Wu. So, he didn't panic at all. Certainly, he didn't show his strength either. When the primordial ancient sea invaded, he would make another move, which would be enough to damage the primordial ancient sea and even destroy the primordial ancient sea. Time passed slowly, and the invading army of the original ancient sea was assembled. This day, the Silent Black Sea, the boundless region. Boom, the void split open, and ancient nests emerged. In an instant, with this food as the foundation, the passages of time and space opened. Countless primitive antiquities poured into the boundless region, covering the entire region in an instant. One can imagine how many primitive antiquities came this time. Among them, the primitive antiquities that are comparable to the 7-fold ancestor and the 8-fold ancestor seem to be endless, and there are too many. In such a war, the Ye ancestors were just cannon fodder. For a while, those Taoist ancestors in the boundless region were terrified and showed despair. This is not a situation they can deal with at all. Boom boom boom, a terrifying figure descends, and these are all at the level of reinforcement. Chapter 2298 Yi Tian shot. Open black lens bracket seeking full order close black lens bracket. Silent Black Sea, finally stepping into this area again. Wu-Wu sighed. Immediately, he issued an order. Let these primitive antiquities invade the large areas of the Silent Black Sea, and by the way, control the countless primitive antiquities in the Silent Black Sea to attack together, and then wake up the sleeping primitive antiquities and disturb the entire Silent Black Sea. As for those 5 top powers like us who directly invaded the Silent Black Sea, the top power that Wu-Wu chose was Shadao Mountain. The reason why Shidaoshan was chosen was because the strength of Shidaoshan was almost concentrated in the headquarters, and Shidaoshan suffered heavy losses during the meeting period last time, and now its power is the weakest. Numerous object levels followed the group to the enhanced object level and went to Shidao Mountain. 10 mountains. When so many things came here, the original ancestors of Shidao Mountain naturally knew about it. Immediately, Shidao Mountain opened a defensive formation, and a dense formation was opened, covering the surrounding area. Seeing so many great formations, Wu Wu smiled contemptuously, not caring at all. Attack! A group of reinforced objects headed by Wu Wu and a large number of object levels shot together, bombarding the large formations, tearing them apart in an instant. At this speed, these great formations cannot protect the Shidao Mountains for long. At this time, the first mountain master of Shidao Mountain, Quangali Daozu, was very nervous. If there were so many intensified objects and objects in the outside world, if they really entered Shidao Mountain, then, the countless disciples of the Shidao Mountain will be killed, and even the original ancestors of the Zeon 9th layer will not be able to withstand it for long, and they will be killed one by one. Hurry up and ask for help from Zhouzhongluo, Mahai, Weiji, and Divine Blood Sect, so that they must go all out to support our 10 Dao Mountains, or if our 10 Dao Mountains are destroyed, they will also be destroyed one by one. Mad Thunder Daozu said. At the same time, Zhouzhongluo and other forces naturally knew that the original Ancient Sea invaded Shidao Mountain, and they naturally did not allow Shidao Mountain to be destroyed. As a result, a group of Zeon Zhouzhong Yuanzu and a large number of Zhouzhong Yuanzu went to Shidao Mountain. Among them, Yi Tian also came. On the boundary of a large area not far from Shidao Mountain, the Xuanal area, the combined army of many forces encountered the material level of the various tribes of the original Ancient Sea. At the same time, Shidao Mountains to strengthen the level also appeared. At this time, no one force can be immune to itself, and must bet on all these to strengthen the level of the original Ancient Sea. Ha ha ha, all of you are here, then kill you all, and the silent Black Sea will return to our original Ancient Sea. Wu Wu said excitedly. Unexpected, he found that there was one missing Zeon 9th ancestor. Hey, the old fellow of Demon Bone Daozu is not here. Could it be that he is attacking the realm of the middle-level infinite life form? Wu Wu guessed. Many Zeon 9-fold ancestors did not answer, but the truth is also true. They didn't think that they could compete with the original Ancient Sea with their 9-layered ancestors, so they still pinned their hopes on the Demon Bone Dao ancestor, who was most likely to break through to the middle-level immeasurable life form. The Demon Bone Dao ancestor is also the strongest in the Demon Sea, and is currently retreating in a hidden place. If the Demon Bone Dao ancestor breaks through, the crisis will naturally be lifted. Kill them, and then go to the old guy with the devil bone. Wu Wu ordered. In an instant, the battle broke out. At this time, a Supreme Enhancement rank stared at Yi Tian. This Supreme Enhancement rank is very weak, and it belongs to a Supreme Enhancement rank that has just broken through, and its attack power is only a few dozen innumerable scales. Die. Yi Tian made a move, and didn't even use the Great Perfection Great Immeasurable Dao Control technique, but only used the most basic power plus the body of the infinite. Just like this, hundreds of infinite scale attacks can be erupted. Boom! Yi Tian blew up this Supreme Enhancement level with one punch, and when the opponent's body was about to condense, he squeezed the opponent's body with one hand and squeezed it fiercely. In an instant, this Supreme Enhancement level was completely annihilated. With one punch, one pinch, a Supreme Enhancement object fell, and it didn't seem to exert much force. This scene was noticed by the other to strengthen the object, and all of them suddenly changed their expressions. You must know that it is not easy to be killed at the enhanced level, not to mention the primitive ancients who are characterized by fast recovery. But now, he was almost killed by Yi Tian. Just when they were stunned, Yi Tian instantly killed another to strengthen the object level. Seeing this scene, it's not clear where Yi Tian's strength is, far surpassing the other supreme ancestors. Katakana middle. Ask for flowers. I'll deal with it. Wu Wu's voice spread throughout the battlefield. The next moment, Wu Wu came to Yi Tian and blocked Yi Tian. There is even a monster like you in the first order infinite life form, but you are only the first order infinite life body, not my opponent. Wu Wu said coldly. Yi Tian was too lazy to talk nonsense with Wu Wu, so he shot directly. And this time, Yi Tian did not hide his strength, and directly exploded his own strength. Boom! Yi Tian collided with Wu Wu. In the eyes of those supreme 9th level ancestors are the highest enhanced object level, Yi Tian was afraid that he would be directly knocked into the air, but unexpectedly it was Wu Wu who was knocked into the air. 0. In an instant, A golden spear tore apart the endless darkness, directly pinning Wu in the depths of time and space. Boom! Wu's power erupted, breaking free from the endless golden spear, covered in blood. The injury is not minor. How can you be so powerful? Wu was stunned. He is a middle-level immeasurable being, and Yi is only a primary-level immeasurable being. Why is he the one who crushed him? It seems that Yi is a middle-level immeasurable being, and he is a first-order immeasurable being. Escape. Wu didn't want to invade the silent Black Sea, and let all the objects escape back to the original ancient sea. However, endless golden spear, densely dense golden spears emerged, blasting and killing a supremely enhanced object in this territory. Although the power contained in each golden spear is not much, the weaker to the enhanced level is still hit hard by a spear, and then attacked by those supreme ancestors in the silent Black Sea. Gradually, a supreme strengthening object fell. As for Wu, he was trying to escape with all his strength at the moment, but Yi kept chasing him. In terms of speed, Yi is similar to Wu, or even close to it, and can only interfere with Wu by constantly attacking. Gradually, Wu's injury became more and more serious. Not long after, Wu passed through the passage between the silent Black Sea and the original ancient sea, and returned to the original ancient sea. And Yi continued to enter the original ancient sea, and it was not until a long time later that he returned from the original ancient sea. Chapter 2299 The Immortal Ancestors. Open black lens bracket seeking full order close black lens bracket. 9-story building. When Yi returned, Jushuan Daozu and Dongchen Daozu immediately asked about the situation. Endless Daozu, what happened to Wu? Jushuan Daozu asked curiously. Killed by me, Yi said lightly. Hearing this, Juzan Dao ancestor and the others were instantly overjoyed. Wu died, and Yi also killed quite a few to strengthen the level. Next, even if Yi doesn't make a move, they can counterattack the original ancient sea, destroy those big tribes, and snatch back a lot of resources. Soon after, a large number of Taoist ancestors from Zhouzhanglo, Shadao Mountain, Demon Sea, Weiji, and Divine Blood Sect invaded the original ancient sea. Although the primitive ancient artifacts of the primitive ancient sea are endless, even if they are killed, they will take a long time to kill, but as long as they are killed to the enhancement level, the next step will not be difficult. And Yi also shot 2020, but 1/3 of the resources he grabbed had to go to the Zhouzhanglo. In this regard, other forces naturally dare not object. I have to say that the original ancient sea is really rich in resources, and also has many treasures. Those resources can be taken away, but the treasure land cannot be taken away. Therefore, the major forces suggested to carve up the territory of the original ancient sea, build ancient cities and branches of major forces here, and transform the ancient nests and many territories here. In the original ancient sea, a large number of practitioners were developed and more Taoist ancestors were cultivated. Of course, they can't completely wipe out the primitive antiquities, but as long as there are enough Taoist ancestors sitting in the primitive ancient sea, then there is no need to worry about the rise of primitive antiquities. As long as the primordial antiquities at the enhanced level are killed, then even if the number of primordial antiquities at the physical level is larger, they will not be able to make any waves. In the following days, the major forces invaded the primordial ancient sea on a large scale, and Yi would occasionally make a move, and every time he made a move, he would definitely fall to the level of strengthening. Gradually, the primordial ancient sea has fewer and fewer to strengthen objects, and some are even hidden and still found. As the major tribes perished one by one, the major forces built huge ancient cities in the original ancient sea, with the ancient cities as the core, controlling the territory of the original ancient sea, and opened up time and space channels one by one. It will take a long time to completely occupy the original ancient sea, but now the major tribes of the original ancient sea are gone, and it is only a matter of time before the complete occupation. Cut off the restricted area. At this time, Sol Lao, Akaji, etc. are also very nervous to strengthen the level. They didn't expect the original ancient sea to be defeated, and they refused to join the alliance with the Silent Black Sea, and now the Silent Black Sea has won. Will they be angry with them? Wu was actually killed. Old Soul couldn't believe it. This was a middle-level immeasurable life form, and it died in the hands of the endless Taoist ancestors of the 9 layers building. It is said that the infinite Tao ancestor is still only a first-level immeasurable life form, but he can kill Wu by leaps and bounds. What a terrifying combat power. There is no way to truncate these super-strengthened objects in the restricted area for a long time, so we can only take one step at a time, and only hope that the original ancestors of the 9-level superpower in the Silent Black Sea will not invade them. Otherwise, if Yi made a shot, he would not be able to truncate the penalty area. Yi Tian had no idea of invading the restricted area. After all, he had copied the body of the soul splitter red beast before, lived in the restricted area for a long time, and used the resources and treasures in the restricted area to improve his strength. Now, the truncation box doesn't help him much, so he doesn't need to take the truncate box. Of course, his soul-splitting red beast replica body was annihilated by him long ago. Years go by. The original ancient sea was gradually transformed by the major forces of the silent Black Sea, and more Taoist ancestors chose to enter the original ancient sea to practice. With the addition of an ancient sea, the strength of the practitioners is getting stronger and stronger, and there are more and more primitive ancestors. And this day, the truncation area boundary has also changed, and it has even been promoted to the prefecture-level large area boundary. In fact, it didn't take long for the truncated area to become the zone-level big area, but it seemed that after the crack in the Black Mountain that led to the true mountain territory appeared, the changes in the truncated area became bigger and bigger, and it quickly transformed and improved. Therefore, the truncated area boundary will be promoted to the prefecture-level large area boundary in such a short period of time. It is not so easy to truncate the restricted area to become a heaven-level area. And in order to better practice on this side of the cutoff area, Yi Tian took the time to transform the cutoff Xuanlu into the cutoff sky tower. With his strength and status, he can naturally add a heavenly tower, and no Taoist ancestor would dare to say anything. And Duan Tianlu has Yi Tian in charge, and it is considered to be one of the safest Tianlu, so many Taoist ancestors and even Zhouzhang Yuanzu are willing to join Duan Tianlu. Time flies, and before you know it, another long time has passed. Since Yi Tian has no shortage of resources, his cultivation is slow to improve. Whether it is life level or cultivation, he is much stronger than before, and his overall combat power has been improved. Yi Tian originally thought of quietly cultivating to the limit of the first-order limitless life form, and then going to the middle-order limitless life body realm. But on this day, another crack appeared in the cutoff Montenegro. The key is that this time the crack is bigger, and from the crack there is even a breath that makes Yi Tian palpitate. Swish! Yi Tian appeared in front of the crack, and did not pass by immediately, but carefully observed it. The opposite is not the real mountain territory, not even the Xuanqi territory. Yi Tian muttered. As for where it was, he didn't know. Go in and have a look, it's a big deal to lose a replica body. So, Yi Tian passed through this crack and passed directly. Not good. Yi Tian had just entered a void, and was immediately sealed by layers of sealing power to nearly 90% of his body's power. Then, he fell into a black ocean, and then sank to the bottom of the sea after 5.9. On the bottom of the sea, he saw an incomparably huge monster. This monster has the body of a bull-headed snake, with 6 arms on its body, and a pair of black wings on its back. When Yi Tian came to the bottom of the sea, this monster opened his eyes, and a coercion fell on Yi Tian's body, as if it made him unable to move. Yi Tian doesn't know what this monster is, but the copy talent can be detected. As soon as the duplication talent was probed, Yi Tian probed into the identity of this monster. Blood. Moreover, this guy called Bai Shui also has an innumerable ancestral gift, immortality. The immeasurable ancestral gift of immortality is also the immeasurable ancestral gift that Yi Tian has never possessed. So, Yi Tian instantly copied this immeasurable ancestor. Chapter 2300 High-level immeasurable life forms, trading. Open black lens bracket seeking full order close black lens bracket. One more immeasurable ancestral gift is not very helpful to Yi Tian. At this moment, he was very curious as to why the blood was sealed here. He now knew that the purpose of cutting off Montenegro was to seal the blood, and this should be the sealing center. As soon as he entered here, he was sealed with 99% of his strength, which shows how terrifying the seal here is. The seal on Oxu's body was even stronger. The dense chain of seals bound him, and this black ocean was also a seal energy, all of which were pressed on Oxu's body. With such a powerful seal, Yi Tian feels that if he seals himself, even if he breaks through to the middle-level immeasurable life form, there is no hope of getting out of trouble. Yi Tian can't sense how powerful Oxue is at present, because the energy in Oxu's body has been sealed. Even if it escapes, it is only insignificant energy, unable to judge its strength. But even the escaping energy is definitely beyond the ordinary middle-level infinite life forms. At least it's a high-level boundless 29 life form. Yi Tian secretly said in his heart. At this moment, Bai Shui stared at Yi Tian with a hint of excitement in his expression. I've come in with an immeasurable elementary life form, it seems that I succeeded. Little guy, I want to make a deal with you. Bloody said. What deal? Yi Tian asked. Biao Shui looked at Feng Tiandi and said, it's very simple, you only need to help me destroy the nodes of the seal, after success, I can give you benefits. Destroy the seal node? Yi Tian sneered to himself, how could he be so stupid, what if this guy killed him if he broke the seal and released the blood? With such a dangerous existence, the entire silent Black Sea could not stop him. Therefore, it is impossible for him to release the blood. However, he could ask some questions. You have been sealed, what good things do you have? Yi Tian asked curiously. Biao Shui laughed wildly. I naturally have a lot of good things on my body, such as the infinite body secret technique, breaking through the inheritance of high-level immeasurable life forms, etc. Moreover, the blood on my body can greatly improve the level of life, and I can also give it to you. Some even hope to help you break the shackles of the life level and easily step into the realm of middle-level infinite life forms. If it were other elementary level immeasurable life forms, I am afraid that they would really be moved, but Yi Tian was not. With his talent, it is not difficult to become an immeasurable intermediate life form. As for the high-order immeasurable life form, it is still far away from him. Now that he has obtained inheritance, it is of no use. As for Oxu's blood, he didn't dare to use it. After all, Oxue was still alive, so he might be able to control him through blood. So, the benefits promised by the blood are hardly attractive to him. Yi Tian did not answer directly whether he was willing to trade, but asked, why are you sealed here? Speaking of this question, Bai Shui suddenly became crazy, and the tyrannical breath far surpassed that of jellyfish. I did nothing wrong, why seal me, I want to kill. The blood became extremely violent, and his reason seemed to be completely lost. And Yi Tian stood aside and watched quietly. He had some understanding of Oxue, after all Oxue had been sealed for too long, and it was not surprising that it had become abnormal. After a long time, Bai Shui returned to calm. Little guy, I was just sealed by a certain enemy, it is inconvenient to tell you the specific situation. Bai Shui said. Then I won't help you. Yi Tian refused directly. You wanna die? Seeing Yi Tian rejecting him, Biao Shui wanted to pinch Yi Tian to death. To him, a mere elementary level immeasurable life form is simply an ant, and one can easily crush it to death. But he could only roar, because he couldn't help Yi Tian at all, it was impossible to kill Yi Tian. Unexpected, Biao Shui said. Little guy, if you don't agree to cooperate with me, you can't leave here at all. 90% of your strength is now sealed, and you can't leave this sealed void at all. If you cooperate with me to trade, I can help you out for a price. If you can't get out, you can't get out, I don't care. Yi Tian smiled. He is just a replica body, and the loss will also be lost. Seeing that Yi Tian didn't panic at all, Biao Shui was very surprised. After all, if you are sealed and can't get out here, you can't even practice. Doesn't Yi Tian panic? Suddenly, Biao Shui thought of a possibility. Could it be that this is not your real body, but a clone? The blood was shocked. So what? Yi Tian sneered. You are an immeasurable life form of the elementary level. If you want to condense a clone of an immeasurable life form of the elementary level, you need an extremely rare treasure. I didn't expect you to get such a treasure. But such treasures are very rare, why should you waste one? What about the avatar? Oxue still wanted to try to persuade Yi Tian to cooperate with him. I really don't lack such treasures, so I don't care about this clone. Yi Tian made it clear. Seeing this, Biao Shui knew that Yi Tian was not simple, and he was afraid that he could not despise the conditions given by him. So, he said again, little guy, I know your worries, you are worried that I will kill you after I get out of trouble and destroy the world you are in. How about this, if you have the hope of becoming a 220 high-level immeasurable being, then release me. As a deal, I can give you a big chance right now, how about that? Are you a high-level immeasurable being? Yi Tian asked. Yes. Biao Shui replied, I am a high-level immeasurable being, and I am an extremely powerful existence among high-level immeasurable beings. I sense the breath of a superior immeasurable body from you, your future there is a great hope to advance to a high-level immeasurable life form. So, I will cooperate with you in this way, so that you don't have to worry that I will kill you. Yi Tian pondered for a while, this kind of cooperation doesn't seem to be harmful, when he becomes a high-level immeasurable being, there is no need to fear this blood, even if he is released, there is no problem. What do you mean by big chance? Yi Tian asked. At this time, Biao Shui said slowly, There is a treasure place I left behind in Xuanqi territory, which will help you to raise your immeasurable body to the realm of small achievement, and some other opportunities are enough to make your strength great. Up. 1. Okay, I agree. Yi Tian nodded. Then make an infinite contract. Bloody said. It is good. Yi Tian agreed. Immediately, he concluded an immeasurable contract with Biao Shui, and if he violated it, he would pay a heavy price. Gee,